Hello everyone and welcome back to another round of the Virtual Drift Championship. We are live for top 32. My name is Craig and with me as always, Tanner, what's going on, dude? We had some crazy qualifying there.
Oh man, and what a awesome qualifying, and taking first place again was Alexander Holstner, just showing out in that FDRX7. And I mean, still some other guys that just went all out there on the track today. It was an awesome qualifying session.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're just now joining us, we'll bring up those top 8 qualifying scores there on the top left of your screen. Alexander Holstner, as you just said, 93 up on the board, and that's 2 rounds in a row. Pulesky right behind him with a 92.7, and Eric has Jurkus in 3rd place with that 92.3. Great runs by those drivers, and we'll bring up that line map once again as well. As you see, the drivers will start at the top right hand corner of your screen, and they'll go around that first turn with a 40 roll, and then they'll be able to get on throttle once passing that yellow chalk line and down the straight and entering into the right for their first outside zone at clip number 1. And they'll transition across that track for clip 2 with that very, very small decel. Chase drivers will have to watch out for that area there and give room for that lead driver to transition and then get back on throttle so they can drive down on to clip 3, so your first inside clip. And they'll go through that little power alley section and transition once again to clip 4, your next inside clip, and then work back out to the outside for clip 5. And then transition one last time for your last decel zone as well, coming into clip 6, and then back on throttle to drive back down into clip 7, your last and final inside clip, and then finish on the outside. I think this is going to be super exciting. We'll bring up the bracket. Bracket link should have been posted in chat if you want to follow along, but there it is up on the screen. And our first battle is going to be Alexander Holstner and Maxime. So first time I think these guys will go up against each other. Look at there, they're at the line, ready to go. We'll wait for the judges to send them off.
Yeah, they sure will. We're just going to wait, just like, unlike last time where we had a little light to send them off, now with this 40 roll, it's just going to be the judges telling them to go. And as we can see there, they come around this corner, 40 kilometers an hour. Alexander Holstner in that RPM FD right out front, with Maxime giving chase in his S15. Now that they're past that yellow line, they get on the throttle and initiate into this first outer zone. And look at that, Alexander, nice out there. But Maxime sticking with them, keeping a good proximity through that first inside clip. Now they're going to transition back through the next inside clip. Alexander starting to put some room on Maxime as they come into that braking zone. A little bit of contact is made as they come a little wide through that inside clip and across the line.
Wow, what a way to start top 32 here. And we'll go right back to the replay. See him going around that 40-mile-an-hour roll and then on throttle. And you see Alex enter in and a little bit on the outside there as you see that rear just bump along there, but hangs on to it. Nice transition. Does wash a little wide there for the first inside clip, but he starts to get away from Maxime in that power alley, filling that next outside zone. And there you see Maxime reeling him in. Does drop a little bit of tire back there, but that was his chance to hang on to it, and he does just that. And they finish out the first round of top 32.
And already back at the start line, switched around. Maxime now in that lead lane in that beautiful S15, and Alexander Holstner, our number 1 qualifier, in the chase position. And off the line they go. Again, a 40-mile-an-hour roll around here till they get that yellow line at the bottom of your screen. And off they go onto the throttle they need to get on. Alexander already keeping a really close proximity off of the line as Maxime has awesome angle coming through that first outside zone. Look at that aggressiveness through that first inside clip. Right on the bumper, though, is Alexander as they come through. A little bit of a correction there from Alexander in the chase position. Maxime keeping the car where it needs to be, and on the door is Alexander as they come across the line.
Wow, guys, just starting off very strong here as we go back to the replay of the second half of this battle. This time, Maxime out front of Alexander. Alexander doing what he can to chase him down. You see him enter in, and Alexander goes after the door there in that first turn. Very nice and smooth. Very good transition as well from Maxime out front. And flying through the power alley, and you see Alexander making a good transition there. And there's that bobble that you pointed out, Tanner, in that chase position. But he does a good job to, once again, hang on to it. And they finish out the run, so we'll wait on those judges. And we'll slide them left for Alexander Holstner or right for Maxime. Solid battle to start this top 32 out here at round 5. Seeing some love for Alexander in the chat there. And yeah, I have to agree with Pablo there. A very good lead from Maxime. I think that's where the evenness comes down in that battle. You had Maxime, I think, with maybe a little bit better lead, but then Alexander held that proximity throughout his chase run and didn't drop tire in that last outside zone the way Maxime did. I think a very quick, tough one for the judges here.
The first battle is always the toughest to get through. You know,
Yeah.
and Maxime really showing it out there, even though he was at the number 32 qualifier. Really able to put it in and, you know, show that aggressiveness and show that aggressiveness in the lead lane by putting on a fantastic lead. But Alexander is showing his aggressiveness in the proximity for the chase position. So it's anyone's game at this point for who's going to get it.
Yeah,
Wait for
absolutely. 100% agree. And even, you know, Maxime, he did qualify 32nd, but still with 82 on the board, I believe. But still strong runs from Maxime at a qualifying. And there it is, our first one more time, our first battle of the day. And we will get to see them one more time. A great battle from these guys, and they'll drive on back, get some new tires. We'll see them back at the start line once again.
Always exciting when we get a one more time this early on. I mean, means more drifting for everybody else. And I can understand the one more time call from the judges on that. You know, it was a very close battle by each driver. They just want to see maybe them clean it up just a little bit and get a more definitive answer.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's deserving out of both these drivers. Just very, very close to call. So we're still just waiting on them to come back to the line. There's Alexander. And in that VDC Public Pack 2.0 FDRX7, it's the exact same, just with his own RPM team logo. Well, livery.
Now back at the line, ready for their one more time battle. Alexander Holstner in that RPM livery FDRX7 and Maxime in that S15. Waiting for the judges' call so these guys can roll off and start the second time of this first part of this one more time battle.
Absolutely. Hearing from the judges, a little bit of technical difficulty from one of them, but we're ready to send them off. Oh, driver Alexander Holstner and Maxime following him. And just waiting on that technical difficulty to get sorted.
And looks like it's sorted, and we're off for the first part of this one more time battle from our first battle of the top 32. We're only one battle in. Past the yellow line they go. On the loud pedal they can get as Alexander initiates in. Too far onto the grass though, dropping 2 tires. Maxime uses that advantage to catch back up off that first outside zone through the inside clip, now transitioning to the second inside clip. Look at that, the speed that Alexander has now, trying to make that gap away from Maxime. On this last inside clip though, Maxime regains that proximity and gets on the door as they come across the line.
Yeah, another pretty good start here, although Alexander he went off track there in that first turn, in that first outside zone. He gets away from Maxime a little bit here before he enters in, and then, you know, just holds that speed, goes a little bit outside, but the commitment there to hang on to it and get back on track and back online. Now, Maxime did a fantastic job as well in that chase, giving him room to come back on track and not hit him, and there he is, diving back onto the door of Alexander Holstner in that RX-7. So big mistake from Alexander out front there.
Yeah, that mistake could make or break this one more time battle, and it'd be almost a hurtful thing to Alexander's if he does lose this battle. It'd be the second time he's qualified first, but then the second time he has lost in the first battle to the 32nd qualifier. They come around for the second half of their battle. Maxime Tinguy in that S15 out front. Good initiation. Beautiful through that first outside zone for Maxime. Alexander trying to get up there on the door of Maxime as they come through that first inside clip. Transitioning back now. There's Alexander getting right onto the door and keeping that proximity, leaving enough room for the transition. Nice transition through those last 2 clips and across the line. Beautiful job by both these guys here today.
Yeah, it sure was, and the lead out front by Maxime was very, very good. As we go back to the replay here, you see him enter in. Alexander right there with him through that first turn. And a great transition into outside zone too. He does wash just a little bit wide there on that first inside clip, but he buttons it up and grabs the next one with Alexander right there with him. Backs off just a little bit there, and then reels him back in for that last and final inside clip. And there they go across that finish line. Well, once again, we will wait to hear from those judges, and again, it'll be left for Alexander Holstner and right for Maxime. And look at there, they're going to slide right for Maxime. There's Ed as well, so unanimous decision. Maxime will get the win and move on against the #1 qualifier, Alexander Holstner. So a big turn of events there for our first battle.
It sure is, especially with Alexander Holstner losing again from that #1 qualifying spot in the first battle of the day. It's probably not going to feel good, but keep pushing on and we'll see it the next round.
Here we go, drivers already coming to the line for the second battle of top 32. KO Fonseca and Christoph Dziadon. Ooh, so KO having some issues with his steering wheel, I believe. I think we're going to move on to Russell Jones and Goto. So KO Fonseca will have to take his 5-minute timeout really early here in the top 32.
Yeah, it's a really early period to have that 5-minute timeout because there's still a lot of battles to go, a lot of whipping of that wheel that needs to happen. So hopefully he can get that issue fixed and not have to use another one, because that'll mean he is out of the competition.
Yeah, it sure will. And as you said, it's so early in the competition. So much can happen, especially being here in the virtual space. A lot of technical difficulties can just arise out of nowhere, but drivers are ready at the line and ready to go.
Yeah, so here we have Russell Jones in the lead lane in that red S14 and Goto in that beautiful looking RPS 13. That crazy wing on the back of it, and off they go. 40-mile-an-hour roll around this corner till they hit that yellow line at the bottom of the screen. And now onto the gas they get going. And initiating in is Russell Jones. Huge gap already from Kozu as Russell really puts it out there. Kozu taking a really deep inside line, trying to regain that proximity. Look at Russell out front, though, just putting the car where it needs to go. Still no real ground made by Kozu as they come back through those final 2 clips. And Kozu just can't get the proximity onto Russell Jones by the end.
Yeah, he sure couldn't. As we go back to that replay, Russell just gets out to a crazy start here. And it doesn't really look like Goto is sleeping, on the run up at all. But, I mean, the gap is just massive. And then that almost over rotation there in the chase position might have slowed up Goto as well. As you see Russell just continue on with that exceptional lead run. Does wash a bit wide there for that last inside clip. But with that massive gap established, I'm not sure it mattered too much.
Well, let's hope Goto can put on a really good lead run here and maybe change the tides of the battle. Russell Jones now giving chase. Off they go. Second half of this battle, Goto out front. Russell Jones giving chase. Across that line they go, and here we go. The second half of this battle, initiating in is Kozu. Good initiation from him, filling that whole outside zone. Russell, though, keeping with him through that first outside zone, leaving a bit of a room for the transition. Now Kozu going for the next transition through that inside clip, keeping along that outside zone. Good proximity from Russell here, though, just keeping it in the pocket of Kozu as they come across that line.
Yeah, really good job by both the drivers that time on the second half of their battle. As we go back to the replay this time, Goto out front and gets off to a pretty good start here on initiation. Russell right there with him. Pulls away just a little bit here as he transitions, but then he washes wide for the inside clip, leaving the door open for Russell Jones to reel him back in. And then on the bumper as they make that transition through the power alley, and there he is reeling him back in for that last and final turn. There they go across that line. Here we go once again to the judges. This time left for Russell Jones and right for Goto, who will take the win here with the second battle of top 32. And there they go, sliding left for Russell Jones. He will get the win and move on into top 16.
Good showing there from Russell. Definitely deserves that win.
Yeah, he certainly does there with that big mistake from Goto. It is, unfortunate to see, them not get that close battle that we know they're both capable of in the first half there, but good on Russell Jones to get that great start he had.
And now we're back to our battle. Looks like KO Fonseca has fixed his issue with his wheel. So now we'll be seeing KO Fonseca against Christoph Dziadon. KO out front in his S15 with Christoph in his red S15 giving chase. On the gas they go, and here goes their battle. Initiating in is KO Fonseca. Good proximity from Christoph, though, through that first outside zone, leaving barely any room for transmission, making contact through the first inside clip, rubbing onto the bumper, losing his angle as Christoph is KO's just trying to put on the best lead run he can here while getting shoved around the course by Christoph.
Yeah, straight bullied there through that run. And we'll go back to the replay here. KO Fonseca out front being chased down by Christoph. We see him enter in here door to door through this first outside zone. Makes the transition here, and here's where we see Christoph give him a little door tap there. Now Christoph does jump on a little bit tighter line there, center lining that inside clip, and there's the second bit of contact there. And KO Fonseca does a really good job to hang on to it and keep it going in that last turn with that contact.
Yeah, KO did a very good job for all the contacts to keep the car together and just make sure he stays on that lead line, not to be upsetted by Christoph's love taps, as you'd like to call them.
Yeah.
Now we have them switch back around and ready for the second half of their battle. Christoph now out front in that red S15. KO Fonseca giving chase. Past the line they go, getting on the throttle. Initiating in, good angle from Kristoff, but KO not giving him any breathing room as they transition through that first inside clip. Good proximity from KO. The lead run missing out on that inside clip was Kristoff as they transition to the last two clips now. Closing the door right onto it is KO as they come across that line and a little shove at the end.
Another really good battle here in the top 32 as we go back to the replay of the second half of this battle. You see him enter in there, and Cal Fonseca jumps right onto the door, sacrificing just a little bit of angle there in that chase position, but doing what he needs to hang on to Kristoff out front. As you said, he goes a little wide for that inside clip, but grabs the next outside zone with a bunch of angle there. And there you see Cal Fonseca reeling him back in just before they go across that finish line. Here we go once again, Cal Fonseca on your left, Kristoff on the right. Which one will get the win and move on into the top 16? And the winner will move on to face Maxime later on today. And there they go, unanimous decision for Cal Fonseca. He will get the win in that very close battle.
Yeah, very close battle indeed, but a good win there from KO, going on to face Maxime in the top 16. We just wait for our next battle to pull up to the line here. Pontus Jacobsen in his FD RX-7 looking like he's going to get a buy run.
Yeah, he actually is. Lazam is nowhere to be found. I think I heard over Discord that he is not going to make it. So, again, Pontus is going to take his buy run here in top 32 and just send it off the limiter.
Hey, we can just take a nice moment to listen to this rotary. Hit that limiter, Pontus. There it is. Some nice rotary noises for all you rotary fans there in the chat today and watching us here live for round 5 of the Virtual Drift Championships.
Absolutely, and he'll get a free pass on into top 16, and he'll face Russell Jones later on. So that is going to do it for the first group of top 32. No need to take a break. We're just going to load in the next group of 8 drivers, and that next battle is going to be Yuna, Waronen, and Kyle Woods. That's going to be an exciting one. That big giant Beamer versus Kyle Woods S15.
I mean, Yuna was just on point today, just so smooth with everything he did during qualifying. So, and Kyle Woods is, he's a great battler. He knows how to keep the car where it needs to be. So it's going to be a great battle between these two.
Yeah, absolutely. And Yuna really impressed me at Jersey as well. He did very good there. But as you said, he qualified 4th once again today. So very high up in that qualifying position. And add to that, I mean, Kyle Woods, he did qualify 29th today, but Kyle Woods has proven time and time again he is force to be reckoned with here in the Virtual Drift Championship.
Definitely is. I mean, could this track even be almost not working well for the old timers of the sport? The veterans here of the VDC. It seemed like a lot of them kind of falling short, while some of the new guys are really stepping it up on this course and really showing it out. So really
Absolutely.
Anyone's game today.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Alexander, he qualified 1st. Zach O'Sullivan, our current Rookie of the Year, qualified 5th today. Yuna in the 4th position. Russell Jones, we just saw him get the win. He qualified 8th. But of course, still that T-Con Pulesky there. Oh, and it does look like we are going to have to rejoin the server here. Get confirmation from them. Yeah, I do believe so. So we'll stay here on the stream with everybody. It's a good chance to give Grip Royal a shout out if you haven't checked them out. GripRoyal.com. They are supporting us this season and supplying the championship of the Virtual Drift Championship, a custom championship wheel. Once again, we can't wait to show off as Nightbot just posted it in there. Use Snow Day for an extra 15% off right now. Ooh. All the snow going across the states there, they put that out just a few days ago. If you're in the market for a new steering wheel, quick release. They even have the adapters for the Thrustmaster wheels and Logitech wheels on there. If you don't see them on the store, you can shoot them a message on Instagram and should be able to get you sorted with one.
I gotta pick me up one. I got a nice wheel up here that I could probably attach to my or to my Thrustmaster here.
Yeah, absolutely.
And maybe I'll use the coupon code SNOWDAY. Get 15% off.
That is correct, Julian there in chat. It's always good to see you, Julian. But yeah, we do not have a single controller or keyboard user in our championship this season. Everyone is using either Logitech force feedback wheels, Thrustmaster, Fanatic. You got the direct drive stuff as well. Different options, yeah.
I actually got my chance to try out one of those sim cubes, and wow, I was pretty impressed with it.
They'll take your arm off.
They will. As it looks like we got our next battle here at the line. Waronen versus Kyle Woods. In that super dry BMW. Kyle Woods in his S15. The call has been made and off they go. If you're just joining us here, this is the 5th battle of the day for Top 32. 40-mile-an-hour roll till they reach that yellow line, and then on the loud paddle they can get and initiate into this first outer zone. Look at that beautiful initiation from Yuna as Kyle Woods dives deep to try and catch up that proximity. He has to get on the brakes. Yuna just doing what he needs to do, but Kyle giving him no breathing room on these transitions as Yuna puts it nice and high up into that final outer zone, and across the line they come.
Wow, and another solid run there from Yuna, just dialed in on this track with that giant BMW. I love seeing that thing, especially with a smaller car following it down. And here we go in the replay, just all the way out there to the edge is Yuna. And then he tucks down him for that inside clip with Kyle right there on his bumper as they make that transition. It does look like Kyle couldn't quite get settled in to that chase position. He cuts a little bit of line there at that last outside zone, but it gives him the opportunity to be right there with Yuna as they cross that finish line.
It'll be interesting to see how Yuna does in the chase. We've seen him do amazing qualifying and an amazing lead run. Now to see what he can do in that chase position. Kyle Woods heading out for his run out front. Around the corner they come, crossing that yellow line on the gas, shifting up. Let's see them initiate into this first outer zone. Good job by Kyle Woods. A little correction with the wheels there, but Yuna sitting on his door as they transition now to the next inside clip. Almost scraping the bumpers on the transition. Little room is given, but there goes Kyle Woods off course, and a pass is made by Waronen. Across the line they come.
Wow, I think that's maybe the first legal pass we've seen all season here as we go back to the replay again. Kyle Woods out front. Nice initiation by both of them. He does make a slightly awkward correction there in that first turn, but grabs that second outside zone as well as that first inside clip. And just flying through the power alley there, and then just too far on the outside, drops that wheel and just keeps right on going there in that lead position. But we will go to the judges. Left for Yuna and right for Kyle Woods, but I think Yuna is going to get it. He does. Unanimous decision. Yuna will move on into the top 16 over veteran driver Kyle Woods. What a battle.
Yeah, and again, the first legal overtake that I know I've seen in a long time for the Virtual Drift Championship.
Yeah,
So
I can't
it does
remember
not
the last
happen
one.
often, folks.
Not at all.
As now we go to see who's going to see Waronen in the top 16. Will it be Hayden Winter in his GRP R33 or Luciano Carneiro in his Link ECU RPS 13? Off they go from the start line. Hayden Winter out front. Luciano giving chase. They come around again, 40-mile-an-hour roll till they reach that yellow line. Off they go. Screaming RB of Hayden Winter as they initiate in. Good initiation from Hayden Winter. A little bit of a bobble and a correction from Luciano in that chase position. Hayden putting the car where it needs to be. Luciano catching up now, starting to put the pressure on as they transition to the final 2 clips. Trying to get up on the door is Luciano, and there they come across the line with a little bit of gap between them.
Yeah, pretty solid start there by both the drivers. It seems like Hayden just gets better and better with this R32, a driver coming out of our feeder series here, as you see him enter in and just hang on to that angle, no correction whatsoever. A nice transition as well. And you see Luciano dive onto the door in that first inside clip. There you see Hayden pouring on the angle there and then grabbing that next outside zone. Just a wonderful lead out front by Hayden Winter there.
Yeah, Hayden, every day, I remember when he started making this car, he was reaching out to me too to see, what wheels, what wings could we use. As being a previous R33 owner, I had a little bit of a soft spot for it. I love that car. It's so beautiful. I love what he's done with it. And he's getting faster and faster and more dialed in with it. But now we see what Luciano Carneiro can do in his lead run for the second half of this battle. Hayden Winter looking to eye him down in that chase position. Past the line they go, and here we go. The second half of this battle, initiating in both together. Almost on the door was Hayden Winter to Luciano, as almost not leaving enough room. A little bit of a bumper touch from Hayden Winter onto Luciano. Luciano keeping control of his car though, but there comes the pressure again, and a hit and a spin from Hayden Winter as Luciano keeps it together and comes across the line.
Wow, what a turn of events there in that second half of the battle. As we go back to the replay, Luciano out front being chased down by Hayden Winter, and Hayden really going after it here in that chase position. Luciano on a very good line, and there's the little boop there on the rear bumper as they make that transition, but I think it messed Hayden up more than it did Luciano as they come into that second to last outside zone, and there's the bit of contact that I think Hayden just shut it down once he made that contact and drove himself off the track there to avoid any other conflict. But unfortunate to see it, but very exciting as judges will slide left for Hayden Winter and then right for Luciano. But there it is, Luciano will get the win and move on into the top 16 to face Waronen.
Yeah, what a turn of events. Hayden Winter, a very strong driver to make a small mistake like that. But good on Luciano for keeping that car in control, even with the couple of love taps that he was seeing throughout the course. And good on him for getting the win and moving on to the top 16. Next battle up here is Zach O'Sullivan in his S13. Zach qualified very high today, 5th place against Ethan Pikachu in his BMW. Off the line they go, and around the corner they come. Or getting on the loud pedal after that yellow line. Little bit of wheel spin from Ethan as they try to keep the traction down. Initiating in. Good initiation from Zach O'Sullivan as huge hit from Ethan, sending Zach O'Sullivan off course.
Wow.
As Ethan still continues to finish out his run here, but that will be it for that battle.
Yeah, at least the first half there with that massive contact from that chase position. As we go back to the replay, Zach was out front here, leading Ethan through the course. As you see Zach enter in there, filling that first outside zone. See Ethan utilizing that left foot brake there, but then just dives onto the door super fast and just sends Zach off the track there. And Ethan continues out his run. But we do still have a second half of the battle that can reset his car and go back, as that wasn't his fault for the contact. So in case there was some damage on his car, get that fixed, and they're back at the line ready to go.
They sure are this time. Ethan with his BMW out front. And Zach O'Sullivan ready to give chase. Let's hope this battle is a little cleaner overall. They wait for that judge's call to get off the line. Good timing on that one. That never happens. As they come around the corner here, waiting for that yellow line to get on the pedal and start heading down the straight. Zach already wanting to be on the door, but being cautious of Ethan as he slowly starts to reel him in. Ethan kind of missing out on that outside zone, but makes it up for the inside clip as he transitions now to the next outer zone. Zach doing a great job just mimicking the angle, sticking with him as they come door to door across the line.
Yeah, I think Zach did exactly what he needed to do there in the chase position after that massive contact in the first half of this battle. As we go back to the replay, Ethan again out front being chased down by Zach. It does take Zach a little bit to get to angle there in that first turn. They make that transition down to the inside clip. Zach right there with him. Ethan on a pretty good line there, coming into that outside zone, well as the final one. There they go, down across that last inside clip and across the finish line. So we will go right to the judges. They'll slide them left for Zach and right for Ethan. But I think, yeah, and Zach is going to get the win for that contact and move on into the top 16.
Yeah, what a great win there from Zach. I mean, it's sad that it had to be decided over contact, but moving on, he is. As we wait for our next battle to get to the line here, Alexander Element versus Adriel Machado. As we wait for Element to come down the road there. A lot of Adriel's fans here ready to see this battle. A lot of Elements as well. We have Alexander Element in his Origin Labs S14, sitting there on the line, and Adriel Machado in his S15, ready to give chase as they get off the line and start to make their way around this turn. And on the gas they go. Alexander Element out front, Adriel Machado giving chase. Good initiation by Element, and a tap from Machado to the rear of Element. Element holds it together. Can Adriel, as they do, they both get it together through the transition. Now transitioning again through the next inside clip. Lots of speed from these guys. They tear through this course. Good job from both drivers not to get upset from that and finish out the run.
Yeah, they sure did. And Element, he was flying through that track, but Adriel did a good job to hang on to it through that power alley section of the course. As we go back to the replay and witness this little mishap here, yeah, Adriel just comes in with even more angle than Alexander Element had in the lead position, but they get right back to it. And as you said, Alexander Element was cooking through the course, and there you see Adriel making a snappy transition in that chase position and then reeling him in as they came across that finish line.
Well, it's still anyone's battle here as we move into this second half. Adriel now out front. Element ready to give chase. Off they go. Around the corner, past the line, on the throttle, smoking down the straight is Adriel as he initiates in. Good angle and proximity from Alexander Element as they transition into that first inside clip. Alexander Element just staying on the door of Adriel's. Adriel tries to keep it together through this course. He's doing a great lead run here, but Element is just right on him, wheel to wheel, as they cross that finish line.
Yeah, Element really going after it there in the latter half of that chase run. As we go back to the replay here, they cross the line, and as you said, Adriel got off to a really good start here. Held all his speed there through the first turn. There you see Alexander Element reeling him in and jumps back onto the door there just after that first inside clip, and then across the bumper as they make that transition through the power alley in a very smooth line by Adriel out front coming into that last and final turn. There they go across that finish line. Here we go to the judges. Left for Alexander Element and right for Adriel Machado. Machado, as I said it wrong. Oh, and there it is. Alexander Element will get the win, and let's see if we can hear from the judges on Alexander Element's win.
And unfortunately, that one just comes down to contact. It's on that first run. Element is in the lead position. He does make a little bit of a left foot correction as we come over the start line. We didn't think it was anything too untoward. Then we're about sort of 10-15 meters down the track, back into the run, and unfortunately at that point, Adriel just comes in a little bit hot, causes contact, which pushes Element onto quite extreme angle. Element then does a good job to hold on to it and keep going. Adriel then gets back into the run, but for me at that point, then sort of keeps making a few errors throughout the rest of the chase. Element was doing everything he needed to in the lead position, so walks away from that one for me with a 7-3 advantage to Element. And then on the reverse of this, Element does more than enough there to, in my opinion, hold the advantage through on that run as well, coming away with a 6-4 advantage and therefore taking the win overall.
Yeah, a great call by the judges there, hearing from our head judge Chris. And really just came down to that contact in the chase position by Adriel, coming in a little too hot, and even with more angle than Alexander Element had, and just shuts down the run. And I think we're going to get another bye run. Pulesky can't make it for his run.
That's a shocker. Tikon not making it for his run, so we have Tobias now doing this bye run.
I might be wrong here.
It might just be practice. I'm seeing another car behind him, so I'm hoping it's just practice.
Yeah,
that scared me a little.
Concerned, yeah. But
I was like,
we get to see a nice practice run.
We do. Man, I was like, whew, Tikon not making it. That's not like him.
Yeah, that would have been huge and detrimental to his championship position as well. It looks like judges are going to let him take a couple of practice runs here.
Ah, yes, there he is.
He's made it. It's okay.
Whew, crisis averted.
Just wait for them to finish out their bit of runs here, as they only get a couple.
And already halfway through the top 32. Top 16 brackets coming together.
Absolutely, and this next battle should be pretty good. And in this group, we also have Reese Tatterson and Steven Hatcher in the top 32. That's going to be a wild one for top 32.
Yeah, it's going to be a great battle. Oh, we still have a few more before we get there. Like this one here, Tikon Pulesky in his D-Max S14 against Tobias Thormodsen in his BMW. Off the line they go, and on the loud pedal they get. Tikon out front, Tobias giving chase. Initiating in is Tikon. A good gap established already, but reeling him in is Tobias as they transition to that first inside clip. Cutting a lot of line is Tobias, trying to keep up with the speed of Tikon through these inside clips and these transitions as they come to the last two clipping points. Trying to push up is Tobias, but can't get that close before it finishes out.
Yeah, Tikon is just so precise in that lead position as we go back to the replay here. And Tikon out front leading Tobias Thormodsen, and just settles into that edge of the track in that first outside zone. A nice transition there, grabs the next inside clip, and you see Tobias doing everything he can in that chase position. Almost runs Tikon over before making that transition there in that power alley section. There they go across that finish line with just a little bit of gap established by Tikhon out front.
As they come back to the line now, switching around, Tobias Thormodsen in the lead lane, and Tikhon ready to give chase. Those must be scary flashers to see in your rear view. But nothing that can't shake Tobias. He's a great driver out here. We know he can do well as they come around that corner and get ready to cross the line, get on the gas and start shifting up as they get ready to initiate in. Tobias out front. Good initiation by Tobias, but already Tikhon getting onto the door, leaving no room for the transition as they come through that first inside clip. Tobias holding it together as he grabs that next inside clip perfect, but Tikhon not giving him any room as he just comes to the top of that white line before they make their way down. Tikhon right on the quarter panel all the way through.
Yeah, he sure was, and that dive in that last final turn was insane. As we go back to the replay here, Tobias out front being chased by the one and only Tikhon Pulesky right there on the door, giving him a little tap there on his tire. They come down into that first inside clip, and you do see a little mishap there by Tikhon in the chase position, and then almost hits Tobias in that second to last outside zone. And there's that dive that I was talking about earlier by Tikhon in the chase position, just right on to the door of Tobias. And we'll go to the judges. Left for Tikhon Pulesky and right for Tobias Thormodsen. And that chase position by Tikhon, he doesn't care who it is out front. He will chase them down, put it on your door, and stay there pretty much the whole run. Judges taking their time with this call. It could be that little bobble that Tikhon had in his chase position there in that power alley section, as it did look like he was very close straightening out.
And like I said, it seems like this track, you know, it's throwing off the veterans a little bit, but the newer guys are really settling into it.
Yeah, absolutely. It was still a very good lead by Tobias out front. Still waiting, and there we go. Chris, Ed, and Matt all slide left for Tikhon Pulesky. He will get the win and move on into top 16 to face the winner of our next battle.
Yeah, what a great job there by Tikhon. I mean, Tobias did an amazing job too, but Tikhon was just that little bit closer in chase there, and I guarantee is what settled it in. As our next battle here, Brandon Williams versus Kevin Stump.
And we're actually missing Brandon Williams in the server, so I hope he can make it in before the judges finish explaining to the drivers.
And he is.
There he is. He got in just in time.
Waiting for that very last second, being dramatic. Music's going to start playing. It's going to be like a WWE entry.
Glass breaks. Comes out with 2 beers.
Yeah. I'm happy we both know that reference. As now at the line, we have Brandon Williams in his red JZX and Kevin Stump in that NOS Energy Drink S14. Off the line they go, 40-mile-an-hour road. You might hear me mistake it for kilometers. That's because where I am, we use kilometers a lot. But it is mile an hour till they hit that yellow line. And then on the loud pedal, they can get initiating in. Good initiation from Brandon. Huge punt, though, from Kevin Stump in the rear chase position. But not upsetting too much as they come through that first inside clip, transitioning to the second now. Little bit of room and gap has been established from Brandon out front. And Kevin just cannot get back up on him.
Yeah, doing everything he could there in that chase position, but Brandon getting away in that JZX. So we go back to the replay, and it almost ended very soon here in that first turn. That little bump there, but Brandon does a very good job to hold it together, as well as Kevin keep things going. They grab that inside clip, and there you see Brandon start to get away there in that power alley section, and a very nice settle into that last and final outside zone. There they go across that finish line.
Back up the front and changed positions. Kevin Stump now in that lead lane. Brandon Williams ready to give chase. They wait for that judge's call to get off the line and start the second half of this battle to see who will go on to take on Pulesky in the top 16. Will it be Kevin? Will it be Brandon? We will find out as soon as this battle is done. Around the corner and across the line. Here they come for their initiation. Kevin Stump, huge flick to angle. Good job through that first outer zone, but Brandon giving him a little tap, not expecting the transition, but makes it work as he locks up a little bit there, transitioning through the next inside clip, coming through that little power alley section down to the last two clips. Brandon really putting the pressure onto Kevin Stump as they come across the line.
Wow, really close battle between these two. We go back to the replay of the second half of this battle with Kevin Stump out front, leading Brandon Williams through this course. As you see Kevin just get right to angle and settle in. No big corrections out front whatsoever. Makes a nice transition, grabs that next inside clip. And this time Kevin starts to get away from Brandon a little bit in that power alley section. Grabs the next outside zone. And Brandon does a really good job here to reel him back in across that last and final inside clip. There they go across that finish line. We'll bring up the judge's decision here, and this time we'll slide him left for Brandon Williams. We'll go right for Kevin Stump. And again, I'm not sure who is going to get this one, as that was very close. And Ed, Matt, and Chris all slide right for Kevin Stump. Kevin Stump will get the win, and he's got Pulesky next in the top 16.
That's a big challenge to overcome, but knowing these drivers, they are all great, and they're going to have a good time out there, and I'm sure Kevin will put it on the door as we move to our next battle. Reese Tatterson in that Pro Drift Academy S15 against Steven Hatcher in his Volino Tires RX8.
Yeah, this is crazy to see these two in the top 32 facing off against each other so early.
They know how to put on a show, and let's hope we get one here today as we wait for those judges to send them down for the first part of their battle.
Absolutely.
And off they go. 40-mile-an-hour roll till they reach that yellow line at the bottom of your screen. Then on the loud paddle they get. A little sideways action already from Steven Hatcher in the rear. Reese Tatterson initiates in, beautifully riding that white line. Here comes Steven Hatcher, though, trying to reel him in as they come through that first inside clip. On the door, Steven Hatcher transitioning now. Good lead line here from Reese Tatterson out front. But look at Steven getting all over him as they come through that final inside clip and across the line.
Yeah, really good start to this battle here in the top 32. We go back to that replay, and Steven doing things a little differently in that chase position, staying behind Reese through that first turn and that 40 roll, and there they enter in and fill that first outside zone, make that first transition. Reese washes just a little bit wide for that inside clip, opening the door for Steven, and Steven takes it and jumps right onto Reese's door and pretty much stays with him throughout the course. But Reese just on a fantastic lead run there as they finish out the first half of their run.
Now for the second half of their battle. Steven Hatcher in that lead lane. Reese Tatterson ready to give chase. Around the corner they come, and here we go. On the gas pedal, smoking down the straight is that RX-8 as they initiate in. Good initiation from Steven, almost the exact same as Reese Tatterson's lead run. And look at this, beautiful through the transition, little outside on that inside clip, but not shaking him up. Not as much proximity till right now. Now Reese really putting it on the door of Steven as they finish wide and across the line.
Yeah, what a crazy second half to this battle as well. We go back to the replay. This time Steven leading Reese through the course, and Steven sets right onto the edge of the track there in that first outside zone. Great transition. Tries to grab that first inside clip. Does go a little bit wide there, but grabs the next one with a little bit of gap established on Reese. And then the throttle control there that Steven utilized to grab that last and final inside clip was fantastic. But you can't take any away from Reese as he was right there on the door of Steven as they went across that last inside clip and across the finish line. We'll wait for the judges to slide left for Reese Tatterson or right for Steven Hatcher. Another close one here in the top 32. I was excited for this battle once I saw that bracket. And here we go. Chris slides left for Reese Tatterson. All three of them slide left for Reese Tatterson. He will get the win and move on into top 16. I'd like to hear from the judges on how Reese took that win from Steven Hatcher, as that was super close.
Okay, the reason we've given Reese the win there, it's lead to lead, chase to chase. So in the lead position, overall Reese is a little bit cleaner, especially coming into that off the clip 2 decel into clip 3. He's just a little bit cleaner coming in and getting that clip and then holds that just a little bit, not sort of 3/4 line coming back through into 4 and then around. He does also miss out on 5 a little bit, but wasn't too bad. On the reverse of this, Steven just runs a little bit wide on 3 and then sort of he does then get it back together for the rest of it, but then it's, so it's then chase to chase. It then comes down to the fact that Steven, unfortunately, just gives himself a little bit too much of a gap to make up. It looks like he just caught a bit of wheel spin just off the start, and then has to make up about a car gap coming into it. Makes it up, and then gets back into the fight. On the reverse of this, Reese was on him from the word go. Does create a gap sort of on his own, coming from 4 through to 5, but then times a dive really well into 6 and 7, and is then right up on his door the rest of the way. So overall, it was just enough there by slight margin just to give it to Reese in the end.
Yeah, very tight margin there, and a great explanation from our head judge Chris. And we're on to our next battle.
Yeah, our next battle here, Augusto Ferreira in that Good Ride S15 against Alexander Sevryuk in his S14. As we see them get off the line and around the corner, both these guys did wonderfully in qualifying, coming in at 10th and 23rd, as it almost looks like we have a restart. A restart will be called.
Yeah, we sure do. I was trying to listen in to see who was going to get the strike there. I'm going to assume it was Augusto for maybe going too fast there in the 40 roll, but I didn't quite get all of it.
That's the only thing I can think of for a restart with this type of battle. Looks like Augusto will be at fault for that. Too slow at 35 mile an hour. Needs to keep 40 around this whole corner. Augusto, don't let the nerves get to you across that line. Get on that loud pedal. And here they go, trying to keep it straight down the line, initiating in. Good job by Augusto, dropping that one tire, but Alexander right there on him as they transition down to the first inside clip. Look at the proximity that Alexander is putting onto Augusto as they transition again through the next inside clip. A little bit of a gap there as they slow down, but right on the door is Alexander to Augusto right across the line.
Whoa. And that first transition from Alexander in that chase position was wild. As we go back to the replay here, Augusto out front, settles in okay to that first outside zone, does drop like maybe half a tire, but that transition where Alexander just pops out from that chase position. Now here he does get caught up a little bit, almost passing Augusto as he was on a little bit tighter line in that power alley. So so he had to hang back and let Augusto make his transition. A very interesting start to the battle here.
Yeah, the pressure put on from Alexander just shows what Augusto's going to have to do in this second half of the run. He's got to be right there with them this whole way around. As they are flipped around, ready to go. And off they are for the second half of their battle. Winner of this goes on to face Reese Tatterson in the top 16. Will it be Augusto? Will it be Alexander? Cross the line they go. On the gas is Alexander initiating in, and there's Augusto right there with them. As beautiful job, little bit of a tap there to the front quarter panel of Alexander from Augusto. Beautifully done though through the transition and down into that first inside clip. Coming through the next inside clip, Augusto is trying to just keep that proximity and keep the aggressiveness almost identical to the last battle of these two.
Wow, that dive there into the last and final turn was insane from Augusto this time. As we go back to the replay, Alexander out front leading Augusto through the course. And a nice initiation by both of them. And there you see Augusto make up the gap, give him a little tap there. Transitions with him and grabs that first inside clip as both those drivers. And a nicer transition from Augusto there in that power alley section. And then that dive there right onto the door of Alexander Sevryuk in that lead position. And we'll go right to the judges. This time they'll go left for Augusto and right for Alexander. Which S-Jazzy will get the win? Move on into the top
Or will
16.
it be a one more time?
It could be. It will be close, as mentioned earlier, Alexander getting caught up in that chase position in the power alley section. You know, almost getting in front of Augusto, so he really had to drop back, which made his transition a bit late there. So he wasn't able to catch that inside clip in the chase position. But overall, I mean, he had a really good lead, and there it is. One more time, we'll see these drivers go at it once again here. A not surprising outcome by that battle, as it was a very evenly matched, and both had their mistakes. As I hear the judges explaining to the drivers, they just want both their runs to be buttoned up a bit and get a more definitive winner.
Which is really good because these two put on a really good show for us on those last two battles. So it'll be exciting to see them go at it again. Again, Augusto Ferreira in that good ride S15 at the line, ready to go. Alexander, I think, just warming up his tires a little bit, trying to get some heat in them.
He's icing the kicker.
Icing the kicker. There we go at the line. Both drivers, Alexander Sevryuk in his S14. The call has been made and off they go. And no restarts this time. Augusto keeping that 40 mile an hour on the loud pedal they go. Burning tires down that straight as they initiate in. Alexander right there with them though as they come through this first transition to the second outer zone into that first inside clip. Dropping down the line a little bit was Alexander to try and keep that proximity as they come through that next outside zone, and a crazy transition from Augusto. But on the door now is Alexander as they come across the line.
Yeah, much cleaner start to the battle here. We'll go back to the replay. Augusto out front being chased down by Alexander. As you said, a good start by Augusto. A nice initiation by both the drivers. Good proximity by Alexander. He does drop back a bit there. Sacrifices a little bit of line. But this time he fixes that transition there in that power alley section. But there, I mean, almost rotating is Augusto. But he hangs on to it and doesn't really make too much of a correction even with the bump from Alexander in the chase.
Yeah, it's shaping up to be a great battle between the two. See them weaving around, get a little bit more heat in those front tires. Want a little bit more front end grip. They're back at the front. Alexander Sevryuk in the lead lane. Augusto ready to give chase. Just waiting for the judges' signal to start that 40-mile-an-hour roll. And across that yellow line they come for the second half of this one more time battle. Alexander Sevryuk, oh, and a contact by...
Oh, no. Oh, my God. He hit him so hard he teleported through the wall. I'm sorry.
By Augusto into that initiation, putting Alexander Sevryuk into the wall, through the wall.
You remember how we were referring to the glass breaking and... Oh, man. I mean, Augusto, he does finish out his run. And it is unfortunate to see, and we do have it on replay here. Let's see if we can break this down. Alexander enters in. That might be interesting. Let's see if we can... we'll let this play out, and we'll let the replay go maybe one more time here, as I see on my other screen, Alexander's car is just totaled up front, and the wheels are turning in opposite directions. See, as he turns his wheel. Here we go, one more time on the replay. Yeah, that is an odd one. We'll certainly leave it up to the judges there, but it doesn't quite look like Alexander sets to the angle that he wants. Like the car just sort of held up on him. I might be wrong now. Judges, they have, speed up of that lead car, and yeah, it's going to be Alexander. He'll get the win and move on. And let's see if we can hear from the judges there on what they saw with that massive contact there.
Watching him try to drive this thing.
So, overhearing the judges there, they basically just deemed fault to Augusto going a little bit too hard in that chase position, and really took out Alexander there. So let's be thankful it was in the virtual space and nobody was injured.
Maybe just a few broken egos.
And virtual tie rods.
Virtual tie rods, yes. I don't know. I mean, I've had a few good hits like that, and I mean, my wheel after, just shakes around like crazy. It's not a fun time.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine having, like a direct drive wheel. And mind you, so viewers watching now, with direct drive wheels, they literally come with an emergency shutoff that you put down by your foot in case you need to turn the thing off. So, I can't imagine being hit in that way using a direct drive wheel. That could get ugly really fast.
Definitely could. It's and even from my few experiences on a couple different direct drives, I couldn't imagine it trying to snap out of your hand. And
it just might take your hand with it.
I mean, it happened, a little quick story happened to my brother while he was drifting in real life. He shattered his thumb while drifting. He
easy.
Doing a transition, he forgot to remove his thumb out of the wheel, and the wheel snapped back, and it took his thumb for a ride, a whole 180 degrees.
What kind of caster and trail was he using?
A stock 86 Corolla. With no power steering.
Of course not. As we take this little break here, we're just loading in our last and final group of top 32. We're almost through and into our top 16, and our first battle is going to be Jurkus and Marek. Here they are, coming to the line.
Yeah, Erikos really on point today. Coming in third position in qualifying. It looked like a 5 there for a second. And Marek, just trying to do everything he could in qualifying to increase that score, but just fell short a little bit. But now we'll see how they do in battles. Erikos in his BMW out front. Marek just can't get it to angle. Marek can't get it into drift. So all Erikos has to do is finish it out this run. And that'll be, I believe, would be a 10-0 to Erikos for that run, as Martin just could not get the car rotated and into drift for that initiation.
Yeah, definitely. As we go back to the replay here with Erikos out front being chased by Martin, we see Erikos enter in with a huge gap established here, and as you pointed out, I mean, just didn't get to angle whatsoever, and he sort of drives through that first turn. Now, Erikos does make a big mistake there in that first inside clip, but he is just all out on his own, and at that point, the run was zeroed out by Martin in that chase position, driving around that first turn. So Erikos certainly with the advantage going into the second half of the battle.
Now they've spun back around and ready to do battle once more. Marek out front. Erikos giving chase. Let's hope that Martin can get this car to angle this time around. Get it to initiate. Around that turn and cross the line. Get on the loud pedal. Come on, Martin. Let's see what you can do. And in we go. But now Erikos going into the wall and leaving it all up to Martin to finish out his run now without any mistakes, as he almost goes off course there. Martin has to finish this run, and I believe we'll be seeing one more time on this.
Yeah, I think it's going to be forced here with this crazy battle as we go back to the replay. And what a hard hit by Erikos. He just gets stopped in his tracks here along the wall. It just never entered in, and then you see him just disappear off your screen. And Martin, I mean, not on the best lead line here in this battle as he keeps it going, but he does keep it going. As you said, I think it's just going to be a forced one more time. We'll bring up the judge's decision here, but again, I think we'll see them all three go one more time, and there it is. Yep, we will reset them and hopefully get a cleaner battle out of these two.
Yeah, hopefully they can put this up and make it work for them. That's great to see. First Martin in base position, can't get it to angle, can't get it to initiate, and then exact same thing with Erikos.
Back to the line and ready to go.
Alright, and off they go. Hopefully the leg is situated and I'm coming in clearly as Erikos this second half.
Yeah, now fortunately I'm gonna have to take over. There is a bunch of lag here on our TeamSpeak, and look at that, a huge gap established there by Erikos Jurkus. And there you see Martin trying to reel him back in. He does okay to do so, but another crazy turn of events here. Here we go, there's the replay. There, across that first yellow line on throttle, and another big gap established by Erikos there. And a good transition, this time a good lead by Erikos out front. And Martin sort of sticking with him in there. You see him angle out a bit before making the transition in the power alley. And there he is, trying to reel him back in, going for the dive. And almost hangs onto it and grabs that inside clip, but just not quite there.
Hopefully I'm coming in nice and clear now.
Yeah, absolutely. You're back.
Well, I'm alive again. 2 streams I've died now. That's okay. 1 physical, now 1 virtual. As we have Marek coming in for this second half of this one more time battle. Marek out front. Erikas giving chase right on the bumper was Erikas onto Martin. Good initiation by both. That's what we like to see. No mistakes as they come into that first inside clip. Erikas really getting on to Marek through those transitions as they come in for the final one. Into that outside zone, dropping a tire is Marek, but following him right on the door is Erikas as they come across that line.
Yeah, Erikas really going after it here in this second battle between these two. Again, one more time. Martin out front in the second half, being chased down by Erikas, and this time they both get to enter in. You see Martin drop a little bit of a tire there in that first outside zone. Grabs that next inside clip with Erikas right there behind him and on the bumper as they make that transition, filling the next outside zone. And a very smooth transition by both. They both do drop a bit of a tire along that outside, but they finish it out cleanly this time, and we'll go to the judges for a clear decision. And this time left for Erikas Jurkus or right for Martin Marek. And there it is, left for Erikas Jurkus. He'll get the win, and he'll move on into top 16.
A hard-fought battle between those two, but good job from Erikas getting the win over Martin Marek as we move on to our next battle. Christoph Pena versus Victor Alves. Christoph in his BMW, Victor in that D-Max S15.
And I'll have to bring up the flags. They're just not working for us today, so I'll apologize to those drivers that want to see their country represented up there on our lead and chase graphic. Again, it just doesn't want to work for us today. We'll work on improving that for future rounds. They're at the line, ready to go. I think this is going to be a big battle between these two. Rapina is very precise in his driving, and Victor really goes after it.
Yeah, definitely, as we're about to find out here as they get off the line and ready to duke it out between each other. Across the yellow line on the throttle they can get. Christoph Pena out front, Victor Alves giving chase. Good initiation from both drivers, but right away closing the gap is Victor Alves. They transition down to that first inside clip. Victor Alves keeping that proximity as they transition once more down to the second to last outside zone. Crazy flick transition from both drivers. Going off course a little bit was Rapina, but Victor Alves sticking right with them as they come across that line.
Yeah, he sure did. As I said, Victor really went after it there in that chase position, and Rapina was very precise up until that last and final outside zone. You see him entering in on that track edge. That white line makes a nice transition here, looking identical to the way he looked in qualifying here. And Victor jumping onto the door there, across the bumper as they make that last transition. There you see Rapina jump across that track edge and lose a little bit of speed as well, maybe past that decel zone. So Victor doing a good job to stay with him and not give him some extra contact.
Yeah, exactly. And now for the second half of the battle, Victor Alves out front, Christoph giving chase. Let's see what Christoph can do in this chase position. He's got to keep that proximity there as they come around the corner, and onto the gas pedal they go. And initiating in, Victor Alves already getting quite a bit of a gap off the initiation, but Christoph trying to stick with him. Really close on that transition there, but good job from both drivers not to make contact as there's a bumper-to-bumper transition. Victor Alves just that little bit farther out front, though, as they come around that final inside clip. Now on the door gets Christoph Pena.
Yeah, and Augusto, I mean, he didn't drop a tire there in that last outside zone, but he went wide for that inside clip as well. So very comparable lead runs here as we go to the replay. They settle in very nicely. Victor with some more angle than Rapina did in his lead run. Very nice along that inside clip and through the power alley here, grabbing the next one as well. And a little bit more of a gap established there by Victor. And again, there you see him going a bit wide there for the inside clip. There they go across that finish line, and we'll go to the judges. Go left for Christoph Rapina and right for Victor, and they're going to be fast with it, and Victor is going to get the win and move on against Rapina there. He'll have to face Jurkus Jurkus later on in the top 16. And congratulations.
Great job.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, great job there from Victor Alves, especially to see him up against Jurkus. That'll be a really great battle to unfold.
Sure will, absolutely. And then, yeah, as I'm over here and the judges there, just lead to lead, chase to chase, Victor really took home the win there, pulling out more angle in his lead and a bit more precise. He, you know, again, he didn't drop that tire in that last outside zone. He did, you know, go wide for it, but dropping that tire is a bit more a deduction. Here we go.
Exactly. So now on to our next battle, second to last here of the top 32. Alan Hynes in that Pro Drift Academy S15 against Adam Grønn in his S14 as he initiates in. Alan Hynes out front. Look at the proximity, though, that Adam is putting on to Alan Hynes as Alan Hynes transitions down to that first inside clip, but Adam not giving him any breathing room as they go nice and out in that second last outside zone. Transitioning now for the last two clips. Adam right over the door of Alan Hynes as
Okay. We got a little bit of lag there from Tanner towards the end there, but here we go back to the replay. Alan Hynes out front and Adam Grønn chasing him down and doing a fantastic job there across the bumper as they make that first transition and sticking with him there. They go through the power alley, and it does take a second for Adam to settle into the angle that he wanted there in that chase, but hangs on to it and then right back onto the door of Alan. Just a overall great chase run by Adam and a very good lead run by Alan Hynes.
Yeah, and that can really make or break a chase run. If you have a really good lead run, you know, your chase job's a little bit easier. It's easier to mimic what the driver's doing, easier to time the transitions and get that little bit closer. But, you know, with somebody like Alan Hynes, having him in my rearview mirror on the chase position, that'd be a little scary. So Adam Grønn's got to keep it together here and see if he could be the one to take the next top 16 spot. So will it be Adam? Will it be Alan? We will see here as they come around that 40-mile-an-hour roll. Onto the loud pedal they go. Adam Grønn out front, initiating in. Good proximity already from Alan Hynes right off the initiation. Transitioning now down to that first inside clip. Alan cutting the line big time, trying to keep that proximity together with the Adam Grønn as they come through that second to last outside zone. And contact from Alan Hynes, pushing Adam Grønn almost off course, sending Alan Hynes almost into a half spin and ending the run.
Yeah, Alan had to shut it down there as well as we go back to the replay with Adam out front being chased by Alan. They enter in. Adam sets to a bunch of angle there in that first outside zone, hangs on to it, makes a nice transition into outside zone 2 with Alan right there with him. Alan starts his transition super early there in that power alley, but it pays off. And then here he comes in with maybe just a little too high. Adam does a good job to keep it going though. But Alan certainly had to shut things down there in that chase position. We'll go to the judges. This time they'll go left for Alan Hynes and right for Adam Grønn. Adam Grønn just joining us this season off of getting his license in DCGP. Finishing in that top 5 last season. And this season we'll give out top 3 drivers at DCGP a VDC license for next season. If you guys are interested in that, you can go and compete in that open series.
I don't think I've ever stared at the judges' card so intently to see how this one goes.
Yeah, it is going to be interesting to see. It's really if Adam was still decelling before he should, or if it was Alan just coming in too hot, didn't drop quite enough speed there. It also could be Adam, maybe dropping too much speed, but I think overall it looked pretty smooth. And it's a tough spot for that chase position.
I mean, but for someone who's been on such a high note lately, Alan Hynes, to see him, if it goes the way of Adam, to see him knocked out in the 32 would be a surprise, to say the least.
Yeah, it'll be huge as Alan is currently sitting first in the championship position. But could certainly hurt his standings going out here in the top 32. But this does prove that he is not a robot.
I mean, good. I mean, Adam, from watching him in the previous rounds as well, I mean, he's a fantastic driver. And, I mean, this just shows it putting up against Alan Hynes like that. So,
yeah, Adam's really been dialing in that S14 of his. And looking better and better. I really enjoyed his qualifying run in round 4, Londrina. Looked super dialed in. Just really looking over the replays here. Make sure they are getting the right call.
cue the music from Jeopardy. We sit here. And all the viewers patiently. Is it Alan? Is it Adam? Is it a one more time?
And they're going to go left for Alan Hynes. Alan Hynes is going to get the win. Let's hear from those judges on how Alan will get the win there. And I'm going to guess it was Adam dropping too much speed in that last and final outside zone.
Okay, so Alan gets the win on that one. It basically came down to that contact at the end. The first run, Alan put down a really, really solid lead. And Adam had a really good chase. There was a 6-4 advantage to Adam at that point. And then coming into the second run, it looked pretty even actually coming up to the end of the run. And then we had that contact where basically we put that down to Adam with an excessive deceleration. It actually looked like he was heading off the track. I watched it back frame by frame from the stream, and I could see actually that the rear tyre on his car dropped off the circuit just before the contact. So we could see that it was basically bad trajectory at that point. And yeah, so we handed the win to Alan for that.
And there it is. Alan will get the win and move on to top 16 with Adam Grønn just dropping a little bit too much speed and the wrong line that the judges wanted to see there. There we go. We got at least a couple of flags working.
Yeah, hey, only a couple of them. So we have our last battle here our last battle of the top 32, Octavian Chelaru versus Andreas Linnae. Octavian out front in that S14 as Andreas tries to get the Supra at an angle there, but just can't really make it work, kind of bobbling all over the place. But Octavian putting down a good lead run here, putting the car where it needs to go. There we go for the final transition. A huge over-rotation from Andreas, bumping into the back of Octavian Chelaru, but holding it together across the line.
Yeah, I'd say there was a pretty good example of someone coming in a bit too hot into that last outside zone, but they both hold it together. As we go back to the replay, you see Octavian enter in on a nice line there. He does end up on the inside maybe a little bit too early, but as you said, it took a while for Andreas to really get settled into the angle he wanted while Octavian just continues on with a nice lead run, and there's that contact by Andreas in the chase position, just cooking it into that last and final outside zone.
Just waiting for both the drivers here to drive back around. Here they are back at the start. Andreas Linnae in that Pixel Esports JZA90 Supra. And Octavian Chelaru in that S14. Off they go. The last battle of the top 32. Who's going to see Alan Hynes in the top 16? Will it be Andreas? Will it be Octavian? Across the line they go on the loud pedal. Nice initiation from Andreas. A little bit of a gap established as well as they transition. Andreas almost missing out though on that outer zone. Octavian taking a really interesting inside line there, trying to keep that proximity, but Andreas still holding that gap down as Octavian comes in with a huge shunt right at the end, pushing Andreas off track.
Oh no. We'll go back to the replay and check out the second half of this run with Andreas out front being chased down by Octavian. Really surprising to see from Octavian as he just had that wonderful lead run there. As you see the entering in very shallow into that second turn along that inside clip. He does end up catching him. And here comes that contact there, just sending Andreas off the track. They go across that finish line. So once again, we'll go to those judges. This time we'll go left for Octavian and right for Andreas. Will be a tough one as both drivers had their mistakes in both their lead and chase runs. And there they go. They will slide right for Andreas. And he'll get the win and move on into the top 16 to face Alan Hynes later on today. So that is going to do it for our top 32. A great start to round 5 here as we work our way through top 32. Right on into top 16. We had a couple of big battles there between Reese Tatterson and Steven Hatcher. Reese got the win over Steven, and he'll move on to top 16. Gusto Alexander, another good one. Alan taking the win over Adam Grønn. Now Andreas taking the win over Octavian Chelaru. They'll do some celebratory donuts together. So we'll take just a minute to load in our next group of drivers for top 16. Our first battle, Maxime and Kale Fonseca will battle each other. Bring up that bracket if you aren't following along through our link. Hear from those judges. They're bringing them right to the line. They're already in the top 16. They won't get any little warm-up laps. Everybody has already got their practice laps in.
Exactly. They are warmed up enough. We're waiting for them to get to the line here. We just want to thank everybody for sticking with us for this long. Top 16 is going to start up here real soon as these drivers get to the line, as I can see them starting to come down the pit lane there. Huge shout out and to everyone here in the chats that have been hanging out with us all through qualifying and now through the battles.
Yeah, they're coming right to the line.
So in the lead lane, KO Fonseca in his S15 against Maxime Tinguy in his blue S15. Teal is blue. Yes.
Barely.
Barely. As they come around that 40-mile-an-hour roll, ready to hit that yellow line and a restart. Restart has been given.
Yeah, I think it's another situation of going too slow through that 40 roll.
Here we go. We'll just hit the rewind button a little bit. And, well, the top 16, the first battle of the top 16 here. We have KO Fonseca in the lead lane in his S15 with Maxime Tinguy in his blue S15. Teal? Blue. It's blue.
Yeah, he's going to get... This is going to be another restart where he is going too slow. Maybe he's thinking it's kilometers, but 40 kilometers is really slow.
Yeah, way slower. 40 mile an hour. It's about... trying to think my own head on the math on that. It's about 65 to 70 kilometers an hour. So this is going to be his last chance. Craig, you want to go over the rule there if he has a third battery start?
Yeah, it'll be Maxime's win.
It looks like he kept the speed up this time, and across the yellow line they go. KO Fonseca out front, Maxime Tinguy in the back. This is the start to our top 16 battle as we see Maxime start to reel in KO off of that great initiation where the gap was established. But KO managing to keep on the throttle and keep that gap away from Maxime as they transition to the final two clips of this course. And a huge punt by Maxime Tinguy, almost sending KO off course, but KO managing to hold on to it as they come across the line.
Yeah, some more contact coming into that last and final outside zone as we go back to the replay. Now that these drivers have finally gotten off to a good start and a nice settle into that first outside zone as KO Fonseca out front in that lead position. Maxime doing everything he can to try and reel KO Fonseca back in, and now he finally does here, but comes in just a little too hot, sends KO Fonseca on that super outside line, and Fonseca doing a good job to hold it together.
I hit my mute button. He did a very good job. But now they are flipped around and ready for the second half of this battle to see who will move on into the Grade 8. Maxime out front in that teal blue S15. KO Fonseca giving chase in his S15. Off they go and initiating in already. A little bit more gap is closer is KO Fonseca, but a crazy transition there from Maxime out front, almost giving enough room for KO to close that door entirely as they transition into these last two clips now, coming through that inside. Oh, way closer is KO on that end of that battle.
Yeah, absolutely. They both set into that last and final outside zone very nicely, and KO, decelling there in that chase position to avoid the contact. As we go to the replay, and Maxime on the edge of the track there in that lead position, and a nice transition. He pulls out of the angle, just a little bit there, and then gets right back into it and on the correct line and makes a nice transition here into the last and final outside zone. But there is KO right there in that pocket to finish out the run. Once more for our first battle of top 16, we'll go to the judges, and they'll go left for KO Fonseca and right for Maxime. pretty even battle other than that contact coming into that last and final turn, sending Kale Fonseca on that outside line around it. I think it's just going to come down to who's at fault for that contact, but it looked like Maxime just came in a little bit too hot, trying to make up that gap in that chase position.
Yeah, that's exactly how I saw it there too. Just wanted to keep that proximity the whole way through and just came in a little too spicy and into the back end he went.
Yeah, he sure did. I see a couple people asking too if we're gonna release the track after our event, and of course, absolutely, we'll be releasing the track more than likely tomorrow, so look out for it on our socials as we make that post for the download link for everybody to enjoy this insane high-speed track. And there they go, sliding left for Kale Fonseca. He'll get the win and move on into the Great 8. Congratulations, Fonseca.
Yeah, good performance from KO there. Very nice to see. We wait for our next battle here to come up to the line. Russell Jones versus Pontus Jacobsen. Russell Jones in his red S14. Pontus in that beautiful RX-7 FD. We sit here and wait for the judge's decision. Or judge's decision. Wow. I'm a little behind.
A little bit. And look at here, we got 2 flags up.
Hey! The flags worked as they are ready to start their battle. Russell Jones out front, Pontus Jacobsen giving chase. On the throttle they go. Russell Jones initiating in, Pontus right there with them. A good job through that first outside zone as they transition to the first inside clip. And Pontus starting to get the door of Russell Jones as they transition through the next inside clip. One more to the final 2 zones. Here they come. Pontus right up with them as they come across that line.
Yeah, he sure was, but what a lead there by Russell Jones. We go back to replay once again here across that yellow line, and on the gas pedal they go. And entering in, it does take a bit of time for Russell to settle in to angle. And then you see Pontus right there on the bumper as they make that first transition, and follows him okay through the power alley. But on the correct line and filling that last and final outside zone as Russell Jones just dialed in with a little bit of a gap established across that last and final inside clip.
And now back around to the start line. Pontus Jacobsen in that lead lane. Well, Russell Jones now gonna give chase. Off the start line they go. If you're just joining us here at the top 16 battle, you have to wait to that yellow line before they can get on that loud pedal. Let that our rotary motor soar as Pontus and Russell both go right off course. Pontus putting down that lead lane, and well, the chase has got a mimic, and Russell did, leaving no room for error as Pontus keeps going through this course nice and tidy, but off course again goes both of them as they come down and across the line.
Oh, that was so close there at the end. I thought Russell was going to throw it away, but we'll go back to the replay. Pontus out front in that RX-7, and he enters in just a little bit too far on the outside, and I'm not sure how he held on to it, even with that little bit of bump there from Russell Jones in that chase position, but they keep it going. Pontus on a super inside line there through the power alley, and here comes that transition there. Pontus hangs on to it, and Russell does as well. Russell did, end up on that further outside. But again, Pontus with that big mistake earlier on in the run, going way outside on the first turn. We'll go left for Russell Jones and right for Pontus Jacobsen. And there it is. Russell Jones will get the win. and move on into the Great 8 to face KO Fonseca.
What a great job there from Russell Jones in that chase position. Just, see him Pontus go off course and just go, yep, I'm sticking right with you. You do it, I'm doing it too. I follow the rules.
Absolutely.
As we have our next battle here, Waronen in that super dry BMW against Luciano Carneiro in his Link ECU RPS 13, ready to duke it out for this battle. And off they go. 40-mile-an-hour roll around this corner till they reach that yellow line at the bottom of your screen. On the gas pedal, they get up to speed and ready to initiate into this first outside zone. Both drivers come into it beautifully. Luciano gets a little bit too much angle, has to pull back out of it just to regain that proximity. But Waronen out front here, making the lead look easy. But Luciano now catching right up, and a bumper touch on the transition, but doesn't upset either of the drivers as they come door to door across that line.
Yeah, Yuna just stayed right in it and kept right on going after literally lifting up the rear of his car. Is Luciano in that chase position as we go to the replay? Both settle in nicely. Luciano looks like he over-rotates just a hair in that initiation, but there he is onto the door of Yuna in the power rally, sticking with him, and there's the contact. And Yuna just keeps right on with it, grabbing that outside zone and that inside clip. There they go across the line, door to door.
Well, now we get to see the second half of this battle. Both these drivers have been driving amazing today, and it's just showing why they're in the top 16, but only one of them can move to the Great 8. Luciano Carneiro in that Link ECU RPS 13 out front. Waronen giving chase in that super dry BMW. Off they go across that line, up to speed and initiating in, and right away Yuna's a little bit closer off that initiation, but Luciano's right there. Yuna almost not leaving no room for that transition, had to pull out of it just a hair as they go through the next inside clip. Down now to the last two clips, first the outside zone, then the inside. On the door is Yuna as they come across that line.
Wow, so close to shutting the run down there at that first transition. As we go back to the replay, this time Luciano out front being chased down by that giant BMW of Yuna. They enter in together, Yuna right there with him and sticking with him as well through that first turn. And there it is, just on the bumper as they make that first transition and sticks with him on that rear quarter. Transitions a little bit before Luciano does and sticks with him through that power alley. There they go, down across that last and final inside clip and across that finish line. Of course, once again, going to the judges, they'll go left for Yuna and right for Luciano, and wasting no time, Yuna will get the win and move on into the Great 8 after that fantastic lead and chase run and that little bit of contact from Luciano.
Yeah, but a good fight from Luciano. He's driven really well today to make it to where he is. Good job from him. But Waronen getting that win and moving on to the Great 8 as we set up for our next battle.
It really seems like Luciano has been improving each and every single round. Came out looking really good in qualifying. I mean, it was a 20th position qualifying score, but again, the cutoff for top 32 today was another high 80s. Here they come to the line, Zach O'Sullivan and Alexander Sevryuk.
Yeah, so here they are. Zach O'Sullivan and Alexander Element. Zach O'Sullivan in that S13. Alexander Element in that Origin Labs S14. Across the yellow line they go on the gas pedal, initiating in. Great job by Zach O'Sullivan on that initiation, but look at the proximity already coming from Alexander Element as he pushes them basically through these transitions, coming down into the second to last outside zones. Now through that final inside clip on the door is Element, but an amazing lead run from Zach.
Yeah, a little hiccup there in our graphic. It is, as you called it out, it's Alexander Element in that chase position, chasing down Zach O'Sullivan and doing a fantastic job. As Zach makes his first transition and grabs that first inside clip, Alexander is right there with him and on the bumper as they make their transition through the power alley. And once again, for the last and final one, now Zach, I mean, just perfect lead run out front. You know, really opening the door for Alexander Element to do his thing in that chase position, and Element certainly went after it.
Yeah, he sure did, but Zach O'Sullivan's no pushover, and I'm sure he's going to be right on the door of Element here as we have them switched around. Alexander Element out front, Zach O'Sullivan giving chase, ready to go for their second half of this battle. Who will go to see Waronen in the grade 8 as they come to that yellow line and get on the pedal, start making some noise. They transition in. Beautiful job by both drivers as Zach leaves almost no room on that transition to that first inside clip, coming down now to the second one and into that second to last outside zone. Look at the proximity, but contact from Zach O'Sullivan on that transition. Thought that Alexander Element was going to have more angle, and he didn't, causing some contact, but getting across the line.
Yeah, he sure did. As we go back to the replay, again, Alexander out front, this time being chased by Zach, and Zach makes up that little bit of gap there established on the run-up and hangs with him there through the first turn and second. There he is, dropping a little bit back there, and here he comes, just a little bit too hot there in that chase position, but does a good job to, keep clutch kicking and keep that rear of the car out there. Keep the run going, but we will go to the judges. This time left for Zach O'Sullivan and right for Alexander Element, who's going to get the win and move on to face Yuna in his big BMW. Be a tough decision here, as I know the judges will go over that contact there coming into the last and final outside zone. Zach really going after it there.
Yeah, Zach really pushing to hopefully get another get into the top 3 there, but we all know Element, he doesn't go down without a fight.
Absolutely, and last year, coming super close to grabbing that Rookie of the Year position. Just a literal couple points down from Connor Shanahan. And Alexander really held that position throughout all of last season until those last couple rounds. A very strong driver is Element. And Zach, our current Rookie of the Year, where he sits in those points. I believe he's currently 8th in the championship position. Which going out here in the top 16 could hurt that. And whoa, Zach is going to get the win and move on into the grade 8. And let's see if we can hear from those judges on that contact coming into the last and final turn.
Okay, the reason why Zach took the win there is that on the XL decel map, the deceleration zone for that last area is designated as from the end of that access road to the end of clip 6. Now, from watching back on that replay, we could see that Element had started to decelerate just about as he'd sort of finished his transition about halfway through that access road. Thus, he'd slowed up long before the start of the deceleration area. He then gets back off brakes for half a second and then back on brakes at the start of the actual decel, at which point Zach doesn't really have anywhere left to go. Unfortunately, at that point, Zach is then kind of a passenger. He's a long way down on the line because he was expecting Element to slow down later than he did, which, as part of the lead goals, they have to follow the XL decel map, and as such, Element didn't follow the XL decel map. Therefore, Zach takes the win.
And there it is. Great explanation from Chris. There is, I pulled the line map up on your screen. You can see that decel's on there at clip 6 now. The access road isn't there, but we'll see it on, the next couple of runs where exactly that access road, if you want to take a look at that. But good call by the judges to see that and give Zach the win.
Yeah, really good job there from the judges getting that exact call dialed out and pushed through, basically, to go, hey, this is exactly what happened. But to see Zach O'Sullivan and Waronen go at it, this is going to be a good battle there.
Yeah, absolutely. Zach and his tiny little S13 there against the big BMW will be exciting to watch. And that's going to be the end of our first group of top 16. So second group getting loaded in now. See a couple drivers trying to get that quick practice run in. The judges said,
go.
no.
Like when your dog has something in his mouth and you know it and you're just like, no! Don't do that. We wait for our next battle to come up here. Pulesky versus Kevin Stump. They'll just wait for these drivers to get here. Taking their time, heating up their tires. Still lots of drifting left in the days. We're only halfway through the top 16. And now, at the line, Pulesky in that lead lane, in that D-Max S14, against Kevin Stump in his NOS Energy Drink S14. And off the line they go, 40-mile-an-hour roll around this corner. And on the gas they go. Econ out front, initiating in. Huge gap already established from Kevin Stump. Kevin Stump starts to reel him in as they come to the second outer zone. Diving now down into that first inside clip. Transitioning once more. There goes Kevin trying to get that gap down and get onto the door of Pulesky as they dive for this final inside clip. The proximity is there, but not probably as close as Kevin would like it.
Yeah, Kevin, certainly fighting hard there in that chase position, but as we know, T-Con is very fast in the lead. As you see the gap established there as they enter in, and on a great line is T-Con in that lead position. And you see Kevin Stump trying to make up that ground on a little bit tighter of a line there in that power alley section, but it pays off, and there he is across that bumper as they make that last and final transition. There he is diving down to that inside clip to make up that ground. Yep, Jack Collins there in the chat. We are having a bit of issues with the flags today. If you could just see me refreshing my graphic there before I pull it up on stream.
We try to get these flags to work, but sometimes flags just don't want to cooperate. Second half of this battle now. Kevin Stump out front. T-Con Pulesky giving chase. Good initiation from Stump into that first outside zone. But already T-Con putting on a lot of pressure through it as he leaves quite a bit of room there for the transition. But now starting to reel back in the door of Kevin Stump as you see Kevin coming out that inner zone. But there's T-Con basically right there with him as they come through that line.
Yeah, regardless of the outcome here, Kevin doing a very good job in that lead position this time as we go back to the replay, as it's very hard to overdrive against T-Con. He doesn't do that. I mean, it does take him a minute to get to angle there in that first outside zone and misses the second one, but hangs on to the correct line here through the power alley, grabs that second inside clip, as well as that next outside zone, but T-Con is right there with him throughout that entire run there. There they go across that finish line. So we'll go to those judges. They'll slide left for T-Con Pulesky and right for Kevin Stump, who will get the win and move on into grade 8. And there it is, very quick. T-Con Pulesky will move on after that fantastic chase run, as well as that super precise lead.
Great job there from T-Con. Again, going up, I mean, Kevin Stump, still great job from him as well. But only one can move on. Now we go to see who will take on T-Con Pulesky in the grade 8. Will it be Reese Tatterson in the Pro Drift Academy S15? Or will it be Alexander Sevryuk in his blue S14? And off they go from the start line, round this corner. Then they're allowed to get on the gas pedal and really let all the horsepowers loose of their cars. Initiating in Reese Tatterson, but right there is Alexander grazing the front fender as they transition now down into that first inside clip. Alexander's giving him no room to breathe at all on that transition as Reese Tatterson is just trying to stay on a perfect lead run here, and a little bobble there from Reese in the lead, but Alexander sticking right with them right to the end.
Yeah, Alexander doing a really good job there in that chase position, as well as Reese out front, leading him through the course as we see Reese settle into a bunch of angle there in that first outside zone. And he does miss out on that second outside zone, but again, after that little tap there from Alexander Sevryuk, they continue on a fantastic line here. And there you see Reese over-rotate just a bit. He does have to make a correction to get himself around that inside clip and finish the run out.
Well, now we have the second half of their amazing battle. The pressure that Reese Tatterson is going to have to put on to Alexander Sevryuk. It's going to have to be right out of the gate as they get off the line and come around that turn. We wait for them to open up the engines and take off down that straightaway. Alexander initiates in. Reese Tatterson does as well. Good job from Alexander around that first inside clip, but already getting onto the door was Reese Tatterson, leaving a bit of room through that inside clip as they transition bumper to bumper around the next inside clip, but just a little bit more distance. Oh, and then a hit to the front bumper of Alexander Sevryuk, and Reese Tatterson shut it down.
Yeah, he pretty much had to there after that contact as we go back to the replay with Alexander out front being chased down by Reese Tatterson. Here they go, entering in a nice line there on the track edge is Alexander Sevryuk out front. There you see Reese trying to reel him in, coming into this power alley here. Transitions very nice along that bumper. And here we go into that last and final outside zone, and the contact there from Reese Tatterson in that chase position. So another contact there in that last section of the course. Coaches will have to look over that, make a call. They'll slide left for Reese Tatterson and right for Alexander Sevryuk, and Alexander Sevryuk is gonna get the win. Reese coming in just a little bit too hot, and he will be deemed fault for that contact. Will give Alexander Sevryuk the win, and he'll move on into the grade 8 to then face T-Con Pulesky.
Ooh, two great S14s going against each other.
Absolutely, and they do a lot of practicing together too. I see them on the server quite a bit. That should turn out to be really good battle there.
Definitely should be. As we wait now for Jurkus and Victor Alves to get to the line. Jurkus in his BMW and Victor Alves in that D-Max S15.
The Jurkus reset there. I think he got to the line maybe just a little too soon than he wanted. Will start to lose a bit of heat in your tires.
Yeah, I want to keep that heat in, especially in the front. Keep that front grip up.
And then not, to mention the nerves as well, sitting there on the line and waiting. Nope.
He can get there first. As Jurkus now in that lead position, Victor Alves ready to give chase. They come across that line. Here they go. 2 battles remain in the top 16. This is one of them. As we see a good lead run there from Jurkus. Ooh, almost not enough room for the transition there, but Alves sticks with him as they transition door to door around that outside zone. Now for the final stint here, 2 clipping points left, and Alves is all over the door of Jurkus across the finish.
Yeah, Victor really taking it to the veteran driver there, Jurkus. We go back to the replay. Jurkus out front being chased by Victor Alves, and Victor does a fantastic job here against this great lead run that Jurkus puts down for him. Nice transition, and there you see Victor diving up onto the door, coming into that power alley, backs up just enough to let Jurkus transition, and again, I mean, just putting the front bumper into the rear of Jurkus, and there they go across that finish line for the first half of their battle.
And now they're back up at the front, ready to do it again. Victor Alves now out front in that lead lane, and Jurkus will show us what he can do in that chase position. And off they go. Down the corner, already right on the bumper, almost going side by side was Jurkus. They initiate in. Good initiation from Victor Alves out front. Jurkus with a little bit of a gap there till that first inside clip. Now he's starting to reel him in. Victor transitioning to this next outside zone, and the final 2 clips coming up. A little bit more of a gap there than what Victor had on Jurkus, but they both come across the line.
Yeah, even on the run up there and that first initiation, Victor got off to a really good start. It looks like Jurkus maybe was putting on the pressure around that 40 roll. As you see Victor entering in with that little bit of a gap established, and he pretty much holds on to it. Now Jurkus reels him in just a little bit there in that power alley, but again holds that small gap there and creates another one. But now he does go a little bit wide and drops a bit of a tire there in that last outside zone, which pushes him wide for the inside clip. But we'll wait to see what the judges will decide here. Are they going to go left for Jurkus or right for Victor Alves? Really good battle by the both of these. But can Victor take down the seasoned veteran of Jurkus?
Yeah, it's going to be a close call, but I mean, in my opinion, Victor was a little closer, but I'm not a judge. We'll leave that to them.
Well, you should be, because Victor Alves gets the win.
Timing!
He will move on into the Great 8, so congratulations once again to Victor Alves for that fantastic lead, and even better chase there, chasing down Jurkus through this crazy high-speed course. We'll move on to our last battle of the Great 8.
Yeah, hard to believe we're already here. We're coming down to the end. Their next battle now, Alan Hynes versus Andreas Linnae. Alan Hynes in the Pro Drift Academy S15. Andreas in that Pixel Esports JZ890 Toyota Supra.
And Andreas is just looking more and more settled in the A90 Supra of his, as it's a new chassis for him. He's another VDC veteran, but he's always been driving an S14, so I'm switching from the S chassis to the A90 Supra, and it's looking better and better.
There is, and now all of his skills are going to have to be put to the test as we watch Alan Hynes put on the lead run that he normally always does. Coming around that corner, and on the gas they go. Alan Hynes out front, Andreas giving chase. They initiate in. Andreas getting all over him on that initiation, leaving no room for the transition. Good job so far, though, from Alan in that lead lane as you see that bumper scrape across the transition. Andreas, where has this driving been? As we see them come across the line. Wow!
Yeah, absolutely. What a chase run there by Andreas in his A90 Supra, but a fantastic lead as well by Alan Hynes out front. As we go back to the replay, a nice initiation by Alan, and there's Andreas sticking right with him. Great proximity here. Not too close and not too far away at all, just enough to let him transition there in that power alley. And once again, for the last and final one, there they come into that last and final turn. And Andreas sticking right there with him as they go across that line.
Yeah, very good job. But as we said before, a good lead run makes for a good chase run. If the lead is right there, dialed in, hitting all the zones, on the correct line, it makes the chase driver's job just that tad bit easier. But not discrediting it, that was an insane chase run from Andreas. Let's hope he keeps it together here for his lead run as they are switched around and ready to duke it out for our final battle here of the great top 16. Yeah, top 16.
Yeah,
right?
we're almost there.
Almost there. You said grade 8 earlier, so it confused me. That's okay. Off the line they go. Initiating in. Good initiation from Andreas. Alan Hynes getting right up on the door, leaving that room for the transition. Andreas a little short on that inside clip, but making it work, still getting it. And look at that. Good gap from both drivers, just leaving that proximity till this final turn. But no, I expect Alan to be right on the door of Andreas, but just a nice gap established from the two.
Yeah, absolutely. As we go back once again to the replay, Andreas makes a nice initiation here, just rolls right on into the angle, and Alan's right there with him in that chase position, right on the bumper as they make that snappy transition. As you said, Andreas goes a little wide for that inside clip, as well as that one in that power alley, but grabs the next outside zone and makes a good transition here. Does make a slight bobble of angle there across that inside clip, but hangs on to it. They go across that finish line with Alan right there with him.
I almost want to see it one more time from these two. I think all the chat does as well. See them all in there with the one more times.
It certainly could. We'll see, and they're going to slide left for Alan Hynes. He'll get the win and move on into the Great 8, and he'll face Victor Alves later on today. Maybe we can hear just a small explanation from those judges on the win here. Alan gets over Andreas Linnae, as that was a tight battle.
Okay, Alan takes the win there. The reason being is it's lead to lead more so than anything. It's just Alan's lead is just super, super clean. Unfortunately, there on Andreas's lead run, coming off of clip 2 into 3, he goes super high angle, which is difficult to chase there. It will cause that chase guide have to make a fair correction to not cause contact. Alan does beautifully to not cause any contact there. And then for the rest of the chase run as well, Alan they're fairly equal chase runs overall. They're both really good jobs in that chase position. It's just lead to lead. Alan is just clean throughout the whole run. Great angle, great line. The impact's all there. It's just unfortunately Andreas just has that bit too much angle coming through 2 into 3, and that's just enough there. Just slight margin just to give it to Alan overall.
Absolutely. So yeah, it came down to that lead. Great explanation from our head judge Chris there. Alan will get the win. And again, he'll have to face Victor Alves there in the Great 8. So a tough battle coming up for Mr. Alan Hynes, as well as Victor Alves.
Yeah, it hasn't been an easy road today for Alan Hynes. So a lot of the battles are pretty clean cut when he's out there, but all of them today have been very close to not going his way.
Absolutely. A couple, even, a little controversial call in there, but, he just keeps pushing forward and moving on. We'll have to wait and see if he can do the same in his Great 8 battle. But next up, it's going to be Russell Jones and KO Fonseca.
Waiting for all of them to get into the server. Just answer one of the questions in the chat here. Connor is not here today.
Yeah, unfortunately, he just couldn't make it. Didn't get too many updates from him on why he wasn't here today. Sure, got other stuff to do with that real S15 of his.
Yeah.
Correction, didn't. Does he still have the S15? I want to say I saw something that he got rid of it, but I'm not 100% sure.
We'll have to look into that. If somebody knows, put it in the chat. If not, we'll find out. We'll update you guys next stream. As we have our battle here going on. Looks like Waronen against Zach O'Sullivan. Yuna in that super dry BMW. Zach O'Sullivan in that S50 or S13 as they initiate in. Good initiation by Yuna, who's been doing that all day long. But Zach really putting on the pressure as they transition to that next inside clip. Going to the outside. One more transition left. Coming to that outside. Oh, Yuna dropping 2 tires. But Zach O'Sullivan sticking right there on the door as they come across the line.
Yeah, he sure did, and Yuna dropped a ton of speed there in that last and final outside zone. As we go back to the replay, we get to see how tough it really is to follow this big beamer. As you got an extra door back there, you got to give room for to transition, and Zach does just that in his chase position there for that first transition, as well as that one, and he has to reel him back in, and there we get a little bump from Zach in that chase position, which could have affected that line there coming into that last and final zone.
Yeah, definitely could have. And just a couple people in the chat, he does not have the S15 anymore.
Yeah, I didn't think so. And I think I know, yeah, but
yeah,
people just have to find out.
Yeah. Zach O'Sullivan now giving his lead with Waronen giving chase. Great to see these two doing battle here in the VDC as you see that amazing entry from Zach O'Sullivan. But look at Yuna right on the bumper for that transition, trying to get on that pressure as he leaves no room for the second transition. One more to go. The speed from Zach right now is immense, but there's on the door is Yuna coming across that line.
Yeah, Yuna did a really good job there in the latter half of that battle. As we go back to the replay here, Zach out front, and you see Yuna just burning the tires down there on the run up, which may have affected that gap there. And Zach on a really good line in his lead, and Yuna trying to reel him in here. He's right there on the bumper as they make that transition. A little bit of a gap is established here, but coming down into this inside clip, Yuna is right there And across that finish line, they both go just door to door. We'll go to those judges, and they'll go left for Yuna or right for Zach O'Sullivan. Already seeing a couple of one more times there, but there they go. Yuna is going to get the win with a split decision this time. Ed chooses one more time at Chris, and Matt choose Yuna, and he will move on into the final four.
Yeah. Good job there from Yuna. It was a hard-fought battle from Zach, but we are here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think just overall cleaner there from Yuna Waronen in his lead, as well as his chase. A couple, the tiny gap established in that transition in Yuna's chase coming into the last turn, but then he made it up very quickly. And you see Zach had that contact in his chase that threw off Yuna's line a bit coming into that last and final outside zone.
Okay, I'm a little confused here, but I think that's T-Con in an S15. Oh, no, it's not. Where are we here, Victor?
It is Russell Jones and KO Fonseca.
Russell Jones and KO Fonseca. Thank God we have that 40-mile-an-hour roll as we see Russell Jones initiating in. Good job by Russell on that initiation as we see KO now getting right up on the door as they transition. Oh, little bump off the bumper there as they try to transition in that second to last outside zone. Great job here from Russell, but missing out on that inside clip for the finish, but still making it across the line.
Yeah, they certainly did. We'll go back to the replay here with Russell Jones out front. And chased down by KO Fonseca. Entering in nicely is Russell Jones. And you see KO Fonseca reeling him in. Drops back for that transition, and Russell just on one in his lead here, grabbing those inside clips, filling those outside zones as well. And KO doing everything he can in that chase. He finally reels him in there as Russell Jones goes a little bit wide for that inside clip. Even with that contact there, I don't think he was going to make it.
Yeah, no, exactly. It was one clip shy of being a great lead run, but they still have one more chance to duke it out here. So now they've switched around. KO Fonseca out front. Russell Jones giving chase. And across that line they go. Up to speed they come. And initiating in, KO Fonseca out front. Good initiation from KO. Lots of gap built up off that first outside zone. And keeping that gap as we come through the first inside clip. Now, an upset there from Russell Jones. Almost, it looks like he's straightened right up. And then reinitiated in as KO Fonseca here comes and finishes out the run.
Yeah, I'm really not sure what exactly happened there. We'll go back to the replay and see if we can break it down here as we have KO Fonseca out front this time. Being chased down by Russell Jones as they enter in. Bit of a gap established. Nice transition by the both of them with again, that gap established there. And yeah, it's just Russell came right out of drift. I'm not sure what exactly transpired there. But as you said, he had to reinitiate in his chase position. So once again here in the Great 8, we'll go to the judges. They will slide left for Russell Jones and right for KO Fonseca. I think we have an idea, and absolutely, KO Fonseca will get the win and move on into the final four to face off against Yuna Waronen. Great battle by the both, but unfortunate to see Russell Jones go out like that in that power alley, just straightening up and having to reinitiate.
Yeah, but then again, it's been a good fight here from KO as well, so it's great to see him move on and go up against Yuna Waronen in the next set of battles. As we get ready for our next battle here, T-Con Pulesky in his D-Max S14 against Alexander Sevryuk in his S14.
And look at there, 2 working flags.
They just had to.
They just decide when they want to work and when they don't.
They have minds of their own. Some flags. That's okay. Because we have a battle to watch. T-Con out front. Alexander giving chase. Through that start line they go and initiating in. Good job from T-Con pushing it right to the edge of that track. But Alexander doing a good job to keep his proximity to T-Con as T-Con transitions now into this last half of the course. Look at that. A little bit of a gap there coming off of that transition, but Alexander quickly makes it back up and gets it back on the door to cross the line.
Yeah, you really did there across that finish line. And that last and final turn as we go back to the replay here with T-Con out front being chased by Alexander Sevryuk. Nice run up and good initiation rolling into angle there is both of those drivers. And you see Alexander back off to let T-Con transition, grabs those inner clips, just flying through the power alley, and there you see back off just a little bit, but then jumps right back onto the door as they come across that inside clip. And there they go across the line, giving each other little taps there.
As we have them back at the line now, ready to see who will advance on to the top 4. Will it be T-Con Pulesky? Will it be Alexander Sevryuk? We're going to find out at the end of the second half of this battle, which starts right now. Around the corner they come. On the throttle they go. Alexander out front, lighting up the tires down that straightaway as he initiates in. T-Con initiates right with him. Starts closing the door by that first and second outside zone. Leaves room for the transition, cutting the line a little bit. But Alexander putting on a great lead run here. But T-Con really putting on the pressure as he leaves lots of room for that transition to the second to last, or the last outside zone. But putting it right on the door all the way through the inside clip to the finish.
Yeah, really good second half to this battle here as we go back to the replay with Alexander out front, this time being chased by T-Con Pulesky, and they both settle in very nicely to that first outside zone, but T-Con was right there with him through that first turn, backs off quite a bit and has to reel him back in for that power alley section, stays with him here, and another gap established as Alexander makes a little bit of a early transition there coming into the last outside zone. They finish out their run, and we'll go to those judges, and they'll slide left for T-Con Pulesky or right for Alexander Sevryuk. Very minor mistakes by both of these drivers. I mean, very minor.
I have a feeling it's going to come down to that, just that smallest margin of, you know, who was closer on what clip, who filled more of the zones, you know, who was closer in proximity. It's going to come down to just the small marginal stuff.
Absolutely, or judges may choose to send them one more time. And if you're just joining us, we are currently in our top 8 here, waiting on those judges, bottom left or right. We will move on into the final 4 to face off against the winner of our next battle, Victor Alves and Alan Hynes. It'll be a big battle coming up here. And look at there, we've got a one more time from Chris, one more time from Matt, and Ed is going to slide left for T-Con Pulesky, so regardless, we will see him go one more time. Good decision there by the judges. They want to see a more clear, definitive winner between the two.
Could this be the battle where we see 2 one more times?
I mean, with these two drivers, it really could go all day long. Both very precise and both certainly go after it in their chase runs as well. And stick right with that lead driver, no matter who it is.
Just looking at the setup of Sevruk's car too, it's very raked. The
It's
front end is
extremely raked.
front end looks like a monster truck. Back end looks like a hypercar sitting right on the ground.
Yeah, so from what I've noticed, it seems that Alexander Sevryuk and Alexander Element do a lot of practicing together, and they're actually in the same identical cars, 2 different liveries, and they are, well, at least it seems like they're using the identical setups. At least up front.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now we get to see them do battle again. Who's going to move forward? Tikon Pulesky out front in the D-Max S14. Alexander Sevryuk in his S14 giving chase. Off they go past that line. Pulesky initiating really early, but Alexander right with him, trying to get as close as he can to leave the room for the transition down the hill. Look at that, a little tap into Tikon as he tries to get through that inside clip. Makes it through again, closes that door, transitions bumper to bumper as they go right door to door through those last 2 clips and across the line.
Wow, really good start to this one more time battle here as we go back to the replay. Again, Tikon Pulesky out front being chased down by Alexander Sevryuk. Very nice run up by Alexander, sticking with him and jumps right onto the door of Tikon there in that chase position. Lets him transition, sticks right with him, gives him a small tap there. Tikon doing a good job to hang on to that line. No big corrections whatsoever, and again across that bumper. Now Alexander sacrifices just a little bit of line there and doesn't fill that last and final outside zone. But overall, fantastic lead and chase by the both of these drivers.
Yeah, these guys are really putting on a show for all of our viewers here today. And we're excited to see who's gonna move on. And then who's gonna face them in the next battle. We have Alexander Sevryuk now waiting at the line. Tikon Pulesky just pulling up. They're waiting for that judge's call to do their 40-mile-an-hour crawl around the corner, hit that yellow line, open up the loud pedal, and get on the door of each other. Here they come. Cross the line, loud pedal open, burning the tires down the straight as Alexander as they initiate in. Good angle, but look at Tikon giving him a little tap there coming into that second outside zone. Tikon gives a little bit of space now coming through that inside clip. Transitioning now is Alexander, but on the door is Tikon as he leaves room for that transition. Comes back up onto the door, trying to make it stick. There it is across the line.
Yeah, both looking like identical cars coming across that finish line. And here we go back to the replay with Alexander out front. Tikon chasing him down. A good initiation by both. Tikon jumping onto the door, and there's that little bit of contact there. You see Tikon having to utilize that left foot brake. Backs off maybe a little bit too much there in that chase position, but then reels him right back in along the bumper as they make their last 2 transitions. And then sticking with him as they go across that finish line. So maybe another tough one for the judges here. We bring up their decision. They'll go left for Tikon Pulesky or right for Alexander Sevryuk.
Or right in the middle for one more time.
No, they are going to go left for Tikon Pulesky. Tikon Pulesky will get the win there. And maybe we can get a small explanation from those judges as that one more time was very close between the two.
The reason Tikon got the win there is purely to do with the chase-to-chase position. So unfortunately, off that first run, coming through off of clip 2 into clip 3, Alex grabs a bit of understeer. You can just see the front of his car loses a bit of angle, and then he spears forward into Tikon's door. Tikon does really well, holds onto it, doesn't really cause any issues. On the reverse of that, yes, Tikon does have his own bit of contact on turn 1. In sort of middle of clip 1, he clips Alex's sort of door more than anything, and just knocks Alex just a little bit wider and does really well to hold onto it. It's just that for the rest of the chase runs, we feel that Alex doesn't bring that same level of proximity and aggression that Tikon does. So they both make an error, so they both have a bit of contact, it both causes a bit of a gap to open up, but it's just Tikon recovers much better from it, and that is then just hyper aggressive in going for the door as much as humanly possible from the transition past clip 2 down. He just goes for the door the rest of the way, and Alex just can't bring the aggression in the same way in his chase, so therefore Tikon takes the win.
A great call once again by our head judge Chris there. And our next battle, our last one of top 8, is at the line, ready to go. Alan Hynes versus Victor Alves.
You sure said it there, Craig. Alan Hynes in that Pro Drift Academy S15 against Victor Alves in his D-Max S15. Coming around that line, the last battle of our Great 8, who will go on to see Tikon Pulesky as they get on the gas and initiate in. Ooh, Victor going really aggressive off that initiation. Alan Hynes doing a great job out front, though, dropping down into that inside clip. Victor not giving up any room to breathe on that transition, almost taking out the rear bumper of Alan Hynes. They transition to the last 2 clips now of this course. Victor Alves putting that pressure onto Alan Hynes as they come across that line.
Wow, another really good start to our Great 8 battle here as we go back to the replay. And as you said, I mean, if that was a real bumper, Victor would have taken it off. And a nice initiation by both of those drivers here. Good proximity by Victor along the bumper there as they make that first transition, grabbing that inner clip. And there you see just scraping along the back side of Alan Hynes and into that last and final outside zone. And there they go across that line, just door to door.
What an amazing battle. Victor Alves really putting it out there, making Alan Hynes having to work. As they are back at the line, Victor Alves in the lead lane now in that D-Max S15 with Alan Hynes in his Pro Drift Academy S15 giving chase. Off the line they go, 40-mile-an-hour roll, round the corner. Once they cross that line at the bottom of your screen there, they're allowed to open it up and get on with it. As they head down the straight, and whoa, even closer. Alan Hynes goes off course. Victor Alves has to keep it going for the rest of this run. Victor Alves needs to stay out front, needs to have a clean line. Victor coming through the last turn now and crossing the line. I'm stunned.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll go back to the replay and see if we can see exactly what happened here with Victor out front. Alan trying to chase him down here. Yeah, and Alan just sets in just too far on the outside and drops 2 tires, goes off track, and Victor continues along with his lead run and stays on a really good line as well, settling into that last outside zone, grabbing the last inside clip. And there he goes across the line with Alan coming back into the picture just barely there. So we will go to the judges, but I think we can all guess on who will get the win. Chat going crazy right now for Victor Alves, and there they go, sliding right for Victor Alves. He'll get the win and move on into the top 4, where he'll face off against Tikon Pulesky. Yeah, big congratulations to Victor Alves there. It's, you don't want to see Alan go out like that, or any driver go out like that, especially here in the Great 8. But, that's drifting, and it happens.
The robot has been defeated. By an awesome man named Victor Alves. Great battle.
Absolutely, and well deserved. Victor's been on one this season with that new S15. Here he is again, making it into the top 4.
Let's see if he can keep up that momentum that he has had today, as we have our first of the top 4 battles. Waronen versus KO Fonseca, ready to give it to do battle to see who's going to go into the finals. Yuna in that super dry BMW with Keo Fonseca giving chase, initiating in. Good job here from Yuna. He's been on that same line all day long. Just awesome initiation. But Keo really putting the pressure on that big BMW with what looks to be that super small little S15 as they transition into this last little part of the course. A little bobbled there earlier from Keo, but he makes it work and sticks with him.
Yeah, overall, a pretty solid start here to this battle. We go back to the replay with Yuna out front and entering in with a bit of a gap, but Kale makes it up very quickly as soon as they enter in. Drops back to let that big BMW transition and then right back onto the door of Yuna. Now you can't take anything away from Yuna as he is on a fantastic lead run here. And being chased down by Cal Fonseca, and Cal doing a fantastic job as well.
Yeah, Cal really just needing to put on that pressure. He knows what he's got to do. He wants to move on, but so does Yuna, and there's still half a battle left to go. So, Cal Fonseca in that inertia S15, taken off from the line, being chased down by the big BMW of Yuna Waronen. Across the line, opening up the loud pedal, getting up to speed, initiating in. There goes Cal Fonseca. Here comes Yuna Waronen, already closing that gap before the transition to the second outer zone, coming down to that inside clip. KO looking fantastic in that lead position, but Yuna's right there with them as they come to the final transition through the final clip. On the door is Yuna. Across the line they come.
Yeah, that may be the difference there, that last and final turn, as Yuna really jumped onto the door of KO Fonseca and really stayed with him throughout the entire run here as he jumps onto that door here in that first outside zone, sticks with that rear quarter, lets him transition, and then reels him back in just a bit here for that power rally. Right there along the bumper as well. And here they come into that last and final turn and just reel him right in and in that pocket as they finish the second half of their battle. We'll go to those judges. This time they'll go left for Yuna and right for KO Fonseca, and quickly they go left for Yuna Waronen. And I'll have to agree with him. Yuna really going after it there in his chase position, and his lead was almost perfect as well.
Yeah, that's exactly the way I view it as well. You know, KO brought a wonderful fight, but that little bobble he had in his chase position, Yuna didn't, and that's probably what sealed the deal from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's not going to be the end of Cal Fonseca. He will stick around, and we'll see him for our third place battle.
Exactly. Still one more to go for him as we move on to the last battle of the top four before we get to our finals. Pulesky versus Victor Alves. Victor's already taken out one. Can he take out another of one of the VDC greats? As they slowly come to the line, I'm watching them come down the pit lane like,
Just
not wasting
down.
any fuel. No, we are fuel efficient here at the VDC.
Well, you gotta be, right?
It gotta be, you know.
Virtual fuel matters too.
It's not cheap these days. Gone up.
Well, you know, that's what happens when, you know, supply and demand, you know, changes.
Exactly. But here we go. The last battle of the top four to see who's going to go up against Yuna Waronen in the finals. Pulesky in that D-Max S14 against Victor Alves in his D-Max S15. Coming around that 40-mile-an-hour roll. On the loud pedal they go. Let's get going. T-Con out front. Victor Alves giving chase. Great initiation by both drivers. Alves already getting up into T-Con's door as they transition down the hill to that first inside clip. And ooh, a little wide there from T-Con, but Alves sticking on the door of T-Con as they do a crazy transition into the last two clips here. And Alves giving him no room to breathe as they come across that line.
Yeah, Victor after it again here in the first half of this battle with T-Con Pulesky this time in the top four. We go back to the replay once again. You see them both enter in. Victor right there with him, like I said, just going after it. And T-Con is a driver you can trust. He will put down a solid lead run And as I say that, he does go wide for that first inside clip, but hangs on to the correct line there through the power rally, and a nice transition to finish it out with Victor right there in that pocket, almost pushing him along that finish line.
Yeah, pushing him indeed. But now, I'm sure T-Con's like, oh, you're going to grab my door? I'm going to take yours now. Victor Alves in that lead position in the D-Max S15. T-Con Pulesky in his D-Max S14. Who goes to see Waronen in the finals? And who heads to the third place matchup? Will it be Alves? Will it be Pulesky? On the throttle they go. Already really close is T-Con, but initiating in, going a little wide, going behind Alves there for that transition. But making it work was T-Con. Alves doing a great job out front here, putting the car where it needs to be put. Good transition into the final two clips. T-Con on the door now of Alves as they come across the line.
Wow. Another mistake by that chase car following Victor in that first turn as we go back to the replay here. And Victor sets in nicely to that first outside zone, and you see T-Con really going after it and just washes out wide. And as you said, almost going behind Victor Alves there in that chase position. And Victor keeps going throughout his exceptional lead run here. And T-Con, I mean, he did reel him back in, but you can't help but notice the big mistake there in his chase position. So we're going to go to those judges. They will slide left for T-Con Pulesky and right for Victor Alves. But I think Victor Alves is going on to the finals here. And there they go, sliding right for Victor Alves. He will get the win. He'll move on into the finals, and we'll see T-Con Pulesky and Kale Fonseca for our third place battle.
Great drive from Victor Alves. He is on fire today, really bringing it to him. But now our third place matchup.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be T-Con and Kale Fonseca will face off in their third place battle.
Two more battles to go. This one and then the finals. Who's excited?
I know I am. This is going to be a wonderful battle as well between these two, T-Con Pulesky and Kale Fonseca. T-Con will lead first as he qualified very high today in that second place position. Kale qualified 16th.
Here we go at the line for third place. T-Con Pulesky in the lead in the D-Max S14. Kale Fonseca in that Inertia S15. Ready to chase down T-Con Pulesky. Around the corner they come. On the gas they get. Getting up to speed and initiating in. Right away. Whoa, look at the proximity off that initiation from KO as they transition down the hill to that inside clip. Look at that, right on the door of T-Con as he transitions now and leaves a little bit of gap off that transition, trying to regain the proximity that he lost. T-Con right out front doing what he needs to do, and Cow just getting to the door as they cross the line.
Yeah, great job by both these drivers in the first half of their third place battle. T-Con out front and being chased down by Kale Fonseca. And a nice initiation, again rolling on to angle. Kale with a little bit less angle than T-Con, but doing what he needs to do to stay in that pocket. A little bobble there as they go through that power alley, and he backs off, reels him back in super fast, so he has to slam on the brakes there to give T-Con enough room to make that last and final transition, but then does another really good job to reel him right back in.
He does a great job at it, but now they're back at the line. Who's going to take third place home today? Will it be T-Con? Will it be Kale Fonseca? We're about to find out as they get off and started. Off they go. They've completed the corner for the 40-mile-an-hour roll and initiating in. Good angle from KO, almost dropping a tire there. Tikon catching right up to the door, though, right after that outside zone. Coming down off that inside clip, leaving no room for the transition for the second one, as now they come to the final 2 clips of this course. And wow, the proximity from Tikon around it as they come through the finish.
Yeah, giving him a little nudge there as they came across that finish line. We'll go back to the replay. Again, Fonseca out front and settling in nicely along that track edge. Does drop maybe half a tire there off that first outside zone. Makes a nice transition. Tikon's right there with him on that rear quarter. Gives him enough room in that power rally to transition on a little bit tighter line there, but does a good job again with that transition and reeling Kale Fonseca back in before they cross that finish line. The last time these drivers will hear from these judges, winner of this battle will get third place, and there it is. Tikon Pulesky will get the win. Chris and Ed choose Tikon, and so does Matt. So unanimous decision. Tikon gets the win in third place. But again, congratulations to Kale Fonseca for making it this far as well. He'll take home that 4th place position and move himself up the points ladder for this season.
Yeah, definitely a good points jump for KO for that amazing finish today. What a great drive. I mean, nothing to shake off at Tikon either. He did an amazing job as well today, like he always does. But it's nice to see, you know, some of the other guys at the top every once so often, like these two that are about to come now. They've battled through qualifying. They've made it through the 32. They've made it through the 16, the Great 8, the top 4, and now they're here in the finals, and they both want this win. Una Waronen in the super dry BMW. Victor Alves in his D-Max S15, who will be giving chase. What a battle this is about to become. Both these drivers are itching for this win as we wait for the judges to send them off. "40-mile-an-hour roll. Round the corner, when they hit that yellow line at the bottom of your screen, that's when they're allowed to open up the gas, hit the loud pedal, let them roar, coming down the straight. Una out front initiating in, Victor Alves right there with them. Great initiation as always from Una, as a little bumper touch there from Alves. They initiate down through that inside clip, coming down, transitioning one more time through the other inside clip. Look at Alves getting all over Una, as a little wheel correction there from Una to try and straighten out the line, but Victor Alves stays with them the entire way around.
Yeah, great job once again by both of these drivers as we go back to the replay. Una out front being chased down by Victor Alves here in the finals. Nice initiation by Una, really setting into that angle. Hardly any correction there. Grabs that first inside clip, and there you see Victor stepping back to give enough room to let him transition along the bumper there. And as you called it, a little bit of a correction there in the front wheels from Una, but it could have been from that very small contact from Victor Alves in the chase position.
It definitely could have been, but we are here, the last half of this battle. Who do you want to win today? Will it be Victor? Will it be Una? 40-mile-an-hour roll for the last, what may be the last time today, as they hit that yellow line and stamp on the loud pedal. Let's see it, Victor. Initiate in with Una right behind you. Good gap established off the initiation, but Una quickly closes that door and hits the front of Victor Alves, sending him off course.
Oh, wow.
I'm speechless. I can't find the words to say to finish out the run other than I believe Victor has got this.
I think so. We'll go back to the replay here and see if we can see exactly what happens as chat erupts with the Brazilian flags here. And you see, as you call it, Victor had a very nice gap established, which could have led up to this right here. Una had to really reel him in and get rid of that gap if he wanted to get the win here today. And I think he just came in maybe a little bit too hot. Of course, the judges will break it down and make sure that they're making the right call here. But as you said, I think it's going to be Victor's win. We'll bring up the judge's decision one last time. They'll go left for Yuna and right for Victor Alves. Regardless of the outcome, congratulations to both of these drivers and the rest of the drivers today. Everybody killed it. Put down solid runs all day long, lead and chase, as well as qualifying in this extremely tough track. Again, if you're watching along and are curious about a download, we will release the track more than likely tomorrow for everybody to download, so you get to experience how tough this track really can be. And there they go. All three slide right for Victor Alves, a unanimous decision. He will get the win for round 5 here at Manfeild. Waronen will get 2nd place, and Pulesky will take home 3rd.
What a great drive from Victor today. Just showing out, taking out some of the best, and just showing that he's the best at that first turn, because that's where everybody made their mistakes against him today.
Absolutely.
Taking down the greats of Alan Hynes and everyone else in his path. And now celebrating his victory, Victor Alves. Chat is still going wild.
As they should. I mean, well deserved by Victor Alves there. Chat is coming through. I can't even hardly read it at all because just complete spam there, and with the support of Victor Alves. Again, we hope everybody enjoyed the event today, qualifying if you tuned in for it, as well as our top 32 battles here today. Again, if you haven't checked out Gripro and you're in the market for a new steering wheel, check them out. They also got some quick release adapters. They even have the adapters for our Thrustmasters and our Logitech wheels in stock. If you don't see them on the store, you can shoot them a message on Instagram. They should be able to get you worked out. But yeah, just overall, fantastic event here at Manfeild on this super tough track that the drivers had to get through today, and just did a wonderful job, all of them.
Yeah, it was, the last round was awesome. This round was just as great. I had a lot of fun at both these events. I mean, these drivers are just so talented, and just showing that, it's still anybody's game. It's still early in the season. There's still rounds left to make up in the championship. It's not locked out yet.
Not at all, and Victor will certainly move up in the points ladder after his finish today. And 3 more rounds to go after this one.
3 more to go. And when's that next event happening?
So round 6 will be on March 6th. 7th round will be on March 20th, and then our last and final round will be April 10th. But we haven't quite announced what track will be next, but it will be another very exciting track that these drivers will have to navigate through.
I think we have our top 3 coming up to the line here as well.
Parking up as they should.
At least 2 of them made it.
2 of them did make it.
T-Con's already left, so we have our top 2 drivers there of the day. Victor Alves, again, getting that win, and Yuna coming so close and grabbing 2nd place.
Absolutely, and once again, well deserved by both of those drivers and everyone else involved. Big shout out to the rest of our staff as well, all 3 judges, Matt, Ed, and Chris, as well as Dion in the background helping out, running those graphics in the background that you see on our screen for qualifying, as well as those top 32 battles. Another shout out to Ali Yusuf for helping us out with the judges' decision graphics that you see during our top 32 battles as well. But that's going to do it here for round 5 here at Manfeild. Again, thanks for everybody tuning in today. And my name is Craig, and with me, as always, Tanner. We'll see you in just a few weeks.
Econ made it.